kind of turn, that we're not trying to overshadow other speakers, and that even in disagreement, we are respectful. Okay, so I would ask, if at any time there are commentary needs to be done, please don't speak after any, must be recognized by the chair. So that's the function I'm sort of here in terms of making sure the meetings that we're doing this evening. Again, we have a lot on the agenda, and we do have a stop in terms of seats. But I also should say, at the beginning as well, thank you to Major Owen Center for allowing us to be here this evening. And again, welcome to us. So we are now going to move on to item number 2. We have presentation. It's a Board of Standards and Appeals application, 1512 Union Street, corner of Albany Avenue. Do we have any representatives for the applicant? Yes. Stand up here? Yes, sir. Try not to look at myself.
Is this working? There we go. I want it to be out. Good evening. My name is Todd Dale. I'm here on behalf of a variance application to the Board of Standard Appeals that's seeking a variance to permit in a C23 commercial and R4 residential district the construction of a cellar and partial 4-story community facility building that will contain a synagogue that does not comply with requirements for floor area and front wall height. This synagogue is for the owner of the lot, Beit Shmuel Chabad. It's an Orthodox Jewish congregation that was founded in 2001. It has not had a permanent space for multiple decades. And the hope is that this variance will allow the congregation to finally have a home after so many years. So this site is a vacant corner lot that's located at the corner of Union Street and Albany Avenue. It's approximately 5,700 square feet. As I said, it is currently vacant. Previously, it was developed with a 4-story residential building that's very similar to the size of the synagogue that's proposed and similar in scale to the one adjacent building, neighboring building. The prior residential building was demolished in 2014 when it was dilapidated and dangerous conditions. HPD, the city, ordered demolition of the building. Since that time, it's been vacant, so approximately 10 years. This proposal is for a cellar and partial 4-story synagogue, as I said, approximately 15,700 square feet. Just briefly, the cellar will contain a social hall, warming kitchen, accessory storage areas. The 1st to 3rd floors would be prayer rooms, study rooms, and the synagogue's worship spaces. And the 4th floor, when I keep saying a partial 4-story, it really is just a little less than half of the 4th floor will be developed and would not be visible from the street. So you wouldn't see this partial 4-story. And that's really designed to be a multi-purpose use for a women's social hall, additional program areas, and it's designed to also function as an overflow space for the synagogue, the worship space. It can be used during holidays and major events, so it's really designed to be multi-purpose. This current design, we appeared before your land use committee a few times, once at the end of last year and once just last week. The current design actually represents a slight change from the original design. Originally, there was a proposal to use a vault space in the cellar, which is the area that extends from the cellar into the street for program areas, but the Department of Transportation determined that could only be used for storage. So the current design, that's why we have this partial 4-story. Essentially, it's not a one-to-one equivalent, but some of the space that was planned to be below grade is now above grade in this partial 4-story. As I said, it's only 2 bulk waivers that are requested. One for floor area, where there's a 2.0 floor area ratio that's allowed, and this is a 2.73 that's proposed. And then the front wall height is generally restricted to 35 feet. This is proposed to have a 45-foot front wall height. As noted, though, the total height of the building would still be approximately 50 feet, which is less than the one adjacent building. All efforts were done to try to keep this in scale with the adjacent building, so it would be a lower height than the adjacent building. It actually would be a comparable height of another religious institution that was approved by the BSA immediately across BSA Avenue approximately 10 years ago. And it does reflect the scale of the prior residential building. So even though relief for the floor area and bulk is proposed, it really is done to a scale of the building that was there previously that was really originally constructed in the 1910s. As I said, this is a variance sought. We believe we meet all the findings of the variance, including character of the neighborhood. This area is characterized by commercial, residential, and community facility buildings, many of which are religious. And then as far as the uniqueness, this is actually being set forth for the variance for uniqueness. There's a federal law, or LUPA, which says that when a religious organization can't meet its programmatic needs, they're granted deference for zoning variance. And in this case, that programmatic needs meeting it cannot be met by an as-of-right building. One thing I would note is that they did explore some as-of-right designs in good faith. You actually would be able to develop this site with a much taller building, up to 70 feet tall, and floor area that's comparable to what's proposed, like a 2.5 FAR. But those designs are only allowed if you have a smaller floor plate. You have yards and create a taller building. And with this institution, if it was built as of right, multiple rooms and study rooms would be lost, and actually the worship space would really small. For anyone who's ever gone to the church, you realize the worship spaces are larger and require seating. It's just not possible without the larger floor plate. So that's my brief presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions about the application or anything that was discussed last week. But we're very hopeful of getting this granted. As I said, the congregation has been waiting many, many years to have a home, and we're hopefully this will be the last step towards achieving that goal.
Okay, we are on a very tight time frame this evening. We can't take two questions, only very quick ones. Anyone have any questions with regards to the application? Hearing none, thank you very much. And thank you for coming to the local land use meeting and for coming this evening. We will be considering the application when we get to the business session. You are more than welcome to stay, but if not, you have to leave. We'll make sure.
And absolutely, so I'll check in with Mia, but I also believe we have some people here, little birds, and tell me about it.
Absolutely. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
We are now going to move on to item 3, applications to the New York State Liquor Authority. We have 5 applications that we are going to be considering this evening as a board. We're going to go down the list. At this time, is there a representative for Lefrak Center at Lakeside?
Yes.
Please come.
There should be a little X that marks the spot right there. Just move a little. Right there. Perfect.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ty Schaffman. I'm with the Lefrak Center at Lakeside, which is in Prospect Park, part of the Prospect Park Alliance and New York City Department of Parks and Recreation's facility inside Prospect Park. We are a 2-acre multi-purpose recreational facility, and we are here tonight to apply for our biannual renewal of our liquor license, which we've had since we've opened in 2013. We've had this liquor license since we've opened to the public. Just a little bit about Lefrak. We're a year-round open institution that serves the community and the public, serving multiple different recreational kinds of things, from ice skating, roller skating, we have biking and boat rentals, and we do a lot of events, of course, as well, from weddings, corporate events, community groups, school groups, thousands and thousands of kids and families and adults that use the facility throughout the year. Hopefully you've been there, and hopefully you'll come visit us if you haven't already. So inside Prospect Park and inside the Lefrak Center is a cafe called Bluestone Cafe. It's a small indoor space, and this is where we serve our food and beverage. We are and have been open from 10:30 in the morning to 7 p.m., Sunday through Thursday, and Friday and Saturday till 10 p.m. Lefrak Center is also seasonal in nature because ice skating is in the wintertime, roller skating in the summertime, so some of the activities fluctuate from time to time on site. But overall, we're open year-round, 7 days a week, for the public to utilize the facility. So here again, we are tonight to present our biannual renewal application for your approval. Just to note, over the years since we've opened, thank God, and knock on wood, we haven't, NYPD, FDNY, we're no incident-free. We've never had any incidents or community-related incidents regarding either alcohol service or otherwise, actually. We have a very close relationship, of course, with Precinct 78 Precinct. We pretty much have NYPD presence pretty much round the clock or year-round or daily. So we're very connected with the precinct, and we're very connected with the community, of course, in what we do and who we serve. So we're here to ask for your approval. If you have any questions, I don't know if you need more from us than that, but we'd appreciate your approval this year for our biannual renewal. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for the presentation. We can take a quick question. Yes. One second. Two hands. Okay, we'll take the two hands. I saw. We'll take those two questions.
There are two issues, I think, with this application. One is that you're going to be serving alcohol very early in the morning. And there's been a concern in the community of late about the amount of alcohol that's being served in this community, especially in Prospect Park, because...
Ms. Boyd, I'm sorry, I have to apologize. I need you to please, if there's a question, we need to get that.
Well, I am getting to the question, Fred, if you would let me get to the question.
Please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Especially in Prospect Park, because there's a lot of unlawful alcohol and doesn't seem like the police are present, even though you claim that they're present with you. So I know that the committee has asked you to reduce your time and not serve alcohol at 10:30 in the morning. And so the question is, why do you feel like this community needs so much alcohol serving, especially when there's so much unlawful alcohol serving right beside the park, and it doesn't seem like anyone is doing anything about it, either the precinct or Prospect Park Alliance?
Thank you for your question.
That's the question.
Sorry. So just, I don't represent, of course, the PD, so I can only speak to myself and to the LaFrac Center and the Alliance. So obviously it's a big park. Don't deny your issues. There's been a lot of things that happened throughout the entire park that the Alliance and the PD and the Parks Department have tried to mitigate. It's an ongoing and never-ending issue and concern for sure. Just to answer, I think from LaFrac's perspective specifically, I would just say that, well, one, and again, for people who haven't been there, I'm just going to try and describe this the best I can, but essentially, we're not propagating alcohol service in the way a typical bar you might envision in your mind. While we do have alcohol service, it's mostly used in those hours, if necessary, for events and things. We do brunch service sometimes on the weekends. We have weddings, we have bar mitzvahs, we do a lot of different events where sometimes alcohol service or an adult who's with his family may want to have a beverage, especially sometime in the morning. That is allowed by law, and so that has been what has been approved at the LaFrac Center since its opening. And I would add, second to that, while I understand your concerns, again, still, thankfully, we have been incident-free, and PD is actively involved with us, so we haven't had any issues there. We also do, I just want to also urge, take very seriously the fact that, of course, underage, specifically underage, because of the kind of facility we do take that seriously. Our staff are trained properly, they're tip certified. We make sure that any IDs are checked in advance. And so, the type of facility we are considering that we're also recreational, have to take that very seriously. And then lastly, I would just add that, of course, the revenues from these types of sales does help the LaFrac Center in the maintenance and care of the building and the facility, so that we can provide services such as the free water play area that we open every summer for the community and such. So we do need every bit of help that we can. And so that's why we're here asking if you'll please consider the reapplication for the same hours as we've been over the course of time since we opened. And we do take your concerns very seriously, and we'll do our best we can. So I appreciate it.
Thank you. I saw the hand.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, please.
Yeah, hi. So the committee asked if you...
Oh, if you could use the microphone, just so.
Thank you. So during the time when you came to the committee, we asked if you could please change the the time for serving alcohol from 12, which we thought was reasonable lunchtime, instead of 10:30 in the morning, and we kind of agreed that we would agree to giving the license if you would change it till 12 o'clock instead of 10:30 a.m. Was there any movement in that?
I do it again, just to answer. Just to answer that, I wish I could say yes. I have to say that from our perspective, from the Alliance and the Parks perspective, we will still request for the 10:30 again because we've had such success over the years. We haven't had any incidents. It does seem to be a service that guests do enjoy from time to time. And we feel strongly that we're not there to propagate a real full-service kind of alcohol business. I mean, that's not what the LaFrac Center is. And I think we've done a good job to balance that over the years. And if you visit us, I think you'll find that when you come on site. There's no signage about alcohol. We're not advertising it in that way. It's really an amenity for someone to find if they're there and see it, and then for events and for other public events that we host throughout the year. So that's my answer to that. Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming this evening. So we'll be considering your application when you get to the business session. Absolutely, you are more than welcome to stay, but if you have to leave, that's not a problem. We'll let you make the board's determination.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, we are going to go to item B in the applications. And I apologize in advance. Is it El Huasteco Authentic Mexican Restaurant Corporation? Was that close? Okay. Is there a representative from OSC? Okay, I don't see any hands. We will come back. Is there a representative for Union Street Pub? Call for a second time. Is there a representative for Union Street Pub? Okay. Is there a representative from, here we go again, I gotta work my Spanish. Exactly, and can we put the patron Mexican snacks? Was that close? All right. Is there a representative here from Aladdin Village? 1034 North.
Yeah, that's it. You have to stand. Oh, okay. Alright.
I'm not really good at this, but here we go. So I'm here representing Aladdin Village, which is located on, to be exact, 1034 Nostrand Avenue. This is a family, quiet, sit-down restaurant, honestly meant for the whole community. The hours that were initially presented to the planning board were from 10 to 11 p.m. 10 a.m. to 11. I do remember that was the main concern.
We can't hear you. We're sorry, can't hear you. Can you put the mic closer?
Oh, let me just put my other. So the main concern last time was basically the hours to start serving alcohol, which we wanted to ask if there was any possibility on maybe instead of 3 p.m., which was initially offered, to lower it down to 12 p.m. I'm not sure if that's anything that we were able to get an agreement with. Other than that, the issuance of this license is a public interest for the community. One, they're going to bring. I'm sorry, I have a really hard time with like large crowds, so. So they'll be hiring in the community. Operation hours are not contributing to any nuisance in the neighborhood. Additionally, the establishment is located in a very busy street, which is, or avenue, Nostrand Avenue, and there are a lot of businesses on the first floor in the same street, so. Are there any questions?
Excuse me, I'm a little confused.
But, okay, I'm sorry, again, rules of order, we can't have the shadows.
I don't understand what she said.
Oh,
You said you
I
had,
think there's a chair. You call somebody else?
Yes, Rabbi Berman,
Thank you very much.
you have a question as well?
I just want to ask, I don't know if now is the appropriate time, but if the Public Safety Committee can clarify whether there was a vote to support this motion and what time you voted for. I don't see minutes of the meeting. If the process is, it really essentially what happens is now, the committee voted to support, I don't know if the committee voted, if they did, the general board could vote, it seems like you're asking you want to start at 12 o'clock. If somebody has to make a motion to start if somebody wants to make a motion to start at 12, they can make a motion to start at 12. It's really not the time to have this conversation, but I would like clarification from the Public Safety Committee, what they voted on and whether they're open to voting for 12. So we can just move on to the next.
Let's do that during the business session. But, so what is your application currently state, just to make sure we're all on the same?
10 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Okay, so right now the application stands as that, and the board has the opportunity
But
to
it sounds
stipulate.
like, Mr. Chair, it sounds like they asked her to 3 o'clock. So I don't know if it's possible the public safety voted on, that's why, all right, are you
And
going to
we
be
can
here later?
discuss the recommendations of the committee when we get to this.
Yeah, no problem, got it, thank you.
Ms. Romper. All right, Ms. Westerdahl will see you, and then Ms. Boyd, and then we need to move on.
Sorry, Fred, I just wanted to say, you said 10 o'clock in the morning, you started?
That's correct.
Serving, alcohol.
Well, we'll start serving breakfast initially, but those are the operation hours.
Okay, not really liquor service.
No, it's not a bar, it's a restaurant.
Yeah,
We'll just have a liquor license as well, but
just
so
wanted
it's
to
not that.
clarify, thank you.
I understand that this application is on the same block as a liquor store, that it's just, a short, few stores down, they're on the same block, same side of the street, correct?
I'm not aware of that. I know there's a bar.
What is your affiliation with it?
I'm the authorized representative by the owner.
I didn't even hear your name.
Well, my name is Nicole Tahala, sorry. I'm not sure, because I did get a little nervous. I'm not good with
It's
the
okay,
process.
I
Sorry
get
for
nervous too.
that. Okay. So there's no liquor store on that same block, or at least 2 blocks away from there. I'm not aware.
I
And
think there
according
is.
to SLA's records, there's no liquor store showing within a certain amount of feet.
Is this on the corner of Nostrand and Sterling Street?
Yes.
The business? Is
Yeah.
that, yeah.
Okay, so there's a liquor store.
Okay, but
in
that
the middle of the
wouldn't,
block.
that wouldn't really affect a restaurant. That doesn't fall under any type of.
Would you be open, this is a full liquor license, would you be open
What's
to
the relevant
switching? Would you be open to, having a restaurant be a, wine and beer as opposed to full liquor license?
I mean, that was not
I'd like to
the,
make a motion.
Okay, order, we need order, I remind us, we are.
I would like to, oops. That's because we're so much. I would just like to make a motion that it be a wine and beer
We are
license.
not at that section.
Maybe that in
When we get to the business session, we
Okay.
will review the
I think
recommendations
people
and make any motions.
prefer that this applicant has been discussed a lot in the community. People are concerned because of that neighborhood has quite a lot of, the liquor store very nearby.
Okay.
There's quite a few.
Ms. Westerdahl, we can discuss that as part of the
Are
business
you
session.
open to that? Is
we're
your,
still under.
would you be open to
but
beer and wine?
No, that's not, honestly, not really, just because there's nothing holding it against us. There's not even 3 establishments with a full liquor license within 500 feet, so there's no reason to not being able to run under
Liquor
that
store
license.
is.
All right,
The liquor store doesn't fall under that.
Order. I remind everyone, we are
All right.
now in order. We allow for the questions. This is not a dialogue. We do have to continue on the agenda. The board will discuss it in business.
All right, thank
Ms.
you,
Westerdahl.
I wish you luck.
Ms. Boyd, a very quick question. Very quick.
A question so that the public can understand. Did the committee agree to 3 p.m. for this establishment? Yes or no? Yes or no?
I think the chair said we're gonna discuss during business, right?
Yes, but what the public would like to know.
Public's gonna be here during business.
Yes, but the public would like to know now before it goes. Did it, yes or no? I mean, why are we hiding this?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did it, yes or no? No?
Primo, was that discussed before?
I mean, if you want me to speak, they can now.
Very quick, just.
So the committee voted to pass it with the recommendation that hours be 3 p.m. Hours
Thank
for
you,
Thursday.
that's all we want, that's all we want.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, then. Okay, so, again, so ma'am? So sorry. Oh, we do have the owner of the businesses here as well, for a moment or two.
What I was looking for was conditional.
Hi, how are you, everybody? My name is Sabina Sheffy, and my husband and I are opening up this restaurant, which is Aladdin Village. It's a family-owned business. It's just me and my husband. We have another business right across the street there, right in the middle of the block, which is Jerusalem Falafel House. This is not a bar type of restaurant. So it's, we have kids ourselves, and we do not permit alcohol for our children. But it is more of a kind of a sit-down place where we want to serve maybe mimosas for brunch. Like, my husband and I will go somewhere for brunch, and I'll have champagne, or I'll have a mimosa or Bellini. This is not hard liquor. It's not where you can come in and just sit at a bar. There is no bar. So it's more of you come to the restaurant, you order a meal, and that's the only time that you can order maybe champagne, beer, or a signature drink. So it's not like if somebody wants straight alcohol, meaning like hard liquor, where they come and they sit and they drink. This is not the establishment we want. This is more of a sit-down, kind of relaxed atmosphere. We're gonna have brick oven pizza, a little bit of a Middle Eastern twist because we're Middle Eastern. This is the type of establishment that we want.
All right, okay, so thank you very much for that clarification. So we will be discussing the application when we get to the public session. Will you be here as well? Okay, just in case if there are any additional questions.
Sure, absolutely.
We can take care of that.
Sure.
But thank you very much.
Thank you. I mean, I think she has a question.
We have to, we've already spent five questions on this item. We need to get the agenda.
Thank you.
Okay, final call, is there a representative for Union Street Public? All right, second call, is there a representative for Antojitos del Patron Mexican Snacks? Okay, no show. Thank you. All right, we are now going to go on to the next item of the agenda, which is going to be public commentary period. Public comment period is for 30 minutes. For our bylaws, for our rules of order, members of the public are allowed up to 3 minutes to speak, no more than 3 minutes to speak. Public commentary will be cut off after 30 minutes, okay? So I would ask that everyone please be respectful, please make sure you hold your time. I'm going to be requesting a member of the district office staff to please advise speakers when they have 30 seconds left. When you hear that, please be respectful and start concluding your comments and promptly at that 3 minute mark. Okay? So with that, we are going to begin. First speaker I have is Kat B. Okay. Yes, you can come up.
Hi everyone, I also got nervous on the mic too. So I just wanted to do a quick comment about like cleanup. Thank you to everyone in the youth committee. They're doing a community cleanup on the 27th, Little Caribbean. They're also hosting a lot of different community cleanups. I find it a little disheartening that we have to as a community do community cleanups. And I know in the last meeting a lot of folks got on and they were talking about how our streets look. I am a business in the community, the Bodega Lounge. As a business in the community, we have to purchase not only the bins that we have to put our trash in, we have to also pay monthly just for a service to get our trash removed. And I come on here anytime that I usually complain about things in the neighborhood, it's the rent stabilized housing. So with rent stabilized housing, you have about 24 units in one building, and that accumulates a lot of trash. This is everyone's trash in the building. When you walk on these streets, you see a lot of these building trashes. You see people coming out of their building and sneaking their trash outside on days that aren't like trash days. So we have a huge like community cleanup issue in this community that is also linked to these rent stabilized or these buildings with these landlords that are not paying attention to the maintenance of the building. So once again, I'm getting up on here asking for the community board, asking for pressure to be put on these landlords that are not paying attention to the livelihood and the way that the conditions of these buildings are. And as a small business person who also is a resident of this community, is taking money from my pockets just to ensure that our business is doing our part, while the landlords want my money every month for rent, and they're not doing their part. So once again, up here asking for pressure and support from the community. 1322 Nostrand Avenue. The landlord is Strand 2 LLC.
All right, just as a quick note, and this is a general PSA for everyone. Anytime we have issues, especially if it's cleanup, trash, people aren't being good neighbors, please make sure we're reporting these things to 311. Okay? By reporting it to 311, it becomes official to the city. And then it's reported and everybody can keep track. After you've done that, the next step that I ask for everyone to do is please contact the district office. Because that way, they can follow up on that as well to make sure that the city is following up. And especially if they start building a history, then we can track those things and push those as well. So I just wanted to make that quick note. So thank you for coming this evening and sharing that. And again, so that specific issue, anytime it happens, 311 and then make that additional call and answer any issues or nuisances or anything.
Now for a point of clarity on 311.
Yes, sir.
You cannot submit a 311 claim anonymously and receive a tracking number for it. So you have to put your contact information in order to receive, not your contact information. You need to give some sort of identity in order to receive a tracking information. So that's the piece that we need is the case number. So I'm just naming that.
If you feel like you have to be anonymous, Cat B, the Bodega Lounge, we put our phone number.
He said, tell him I said it. Okay, next we have Ms. Boyd. You signed up for comment?
First, I want to thank Dante for writing a letter to our elected officials, asking them to please come to our community board and discuss with us the many proposals, rezoning proposals that are now coming into our community, where developers are coming in and telling us that they're going to be creating affordable housing for people who make $128,000, $248,000, and think that we should be pleased with that. So when elected officials come up, it would be nice if the board would ask them about that letter to see if our elected officials are actually going to come and speak with us about it. I was at the executive board meeting 2 days ago, and I was concerned about some proposals for bike lanes that were being proposed in our community. One is on Ocean Avenue. There's supposed to be some major changes supposed to happen. Parking is supposed to be taken away. Trees are supposed to be broken down and killed and destroyed. And yet we've had no presentation by the Parks Department or Park Alliance. So we would like for them to come to us and present to us so that we know exactly what they're doing, because they are seeking our approval, but we don't know any details about that. So I would appreciate that. Also, there was the idea of bringing down a bike lane down Kingston Avenue, and no one has talked to the residents on that block, all the way from Kingston, from Eastern Parkway, all the way down to Clawson Avenue. That's a lot of bike lanes coming down. And I think before the Transportation Committee can approve something like that, they need to do outreach to the residents. They need to be, getting support for that. Not saying that they just knocked on doors, but getting people to actually sign petitions to say that they want something like that. Because that's a lot. I want to also mention the fact that during the land use committee meeting, during the executive committee, Suki, who's the chair of the land use, talked about doing a 197C plan. I know most people don't know what that is, but it's just a rezoning plan for the district. She did not push this past the land use committee. It was not discussed at the land use committee, but there was a mention that she would have a conversation via email with the executive board. I just want you to know that that's a violation of the law. This is an open meeting. You have to have those discussions in public. And it's important that if you're going to talk about a district-wide rezoning, which would have a tremendous effect upon our community, that the committees that handle those issues should be having discussions, and that it should not be driven by the chair without support from the committee. I also wanted to support the safety committee wanting to do a subcommittee to get a hold of the cannabis licenses, because it's just out of control, and yet we have not been able to approve any cannabis licenses because we have not done our job, and that is creating, a process and a procedure. They are now asking for a subcommittee. It was worked out that the district office could accommodate that subcommittee if it begins at 5:30 in the evening, and I want to thank the executive board for saying that that's something that could be doable, and I hope that you guys agree to that, so that that issue can start to be addressed, because it's not fair to the public or to the businesses that want these legal licenses for us to keep holding them up because we're not doing our job.
30 seconds.
Finally, there's the election committee. Again, I want to thank the executive board for agreeing that if you plan on running for a position, an officer on the board, you cannot be a part of the election committee. There is a pending lawsuit against this community board for doing something like that last year, and there has been now an agreement by the executive board that if you are a member of the community board, you want to run for election, nominating, thank you, I'm sorry. If you are a member of the board and you want to do you want to be a part of the election committee, that you cannot run for an office because it is a serious conflict of interest.
Okay, Council Williams? All right, I see Paco Abraham?
Hi everyone, my name is Paco. I live on Lincoln Road and at the corner of Lincoln and Nostrand. Been in the neighborhood about 10 years. Been in the neighborhood about 10 years. Been coming to these meetings for 8 or 9 years, mostly on Transportation Committee. I'm on the Transportation Committee now. I think the only thing that's up for a vote tonight is the Empire Boulevard bike lane extension. I wanted to speak in support of that and in support of the process that I've been talking to Fred for years. We've been going to the meetings. I think we went on a bike ride in the neighborhood about 7 years ago, and we've talked about ways to not have DOT come at us with ideas, but for us to have ideas and then talk about what works, what may not work, what works in another community may not work here. But we've been going about looking at roads and where bike lanes kind of go from other community boards and then just stop here, and how it makes it really difficult and very dangerous. I think when I first started going to the Transportation Committee meetings, I was a little nervous for my own safety, for my wife's safety. In that time now, I have 2 little kids. My 5-year-old is desperate to get a bicycle, and she takes a gardening class at the Brooklyn Botanic Garden. I would love to be able to bike her directly there and have her bike on bike lanes. But the current Empire Boulevard bike lane just dead ends at Bedford. It just stops. You can see Prospect Park, but you can't actually go to Prospect Park via bike lane. So I think it feels like a natural extension, and I support it. But I also support us proposing it and letting DOT and the experts study it and evaluate it, because I don't know the engineering details. I leave that to the experts. I want us to say this is something we support, and then let them come back to us with renderings and drawings and allow time. We'll probably need months or a year or something before, so we have ample time for more community feedback. But I know every time I go to the Botanic Garden or Prospect Park, there are plenty of people biking, there's city bikes around, they are being used, but a lot of the infrastructure that we have it's kind of half done. And so incomplete infrastructure leads to dangerous roads. So yeah, I just wanted to speak in support of the extension of the Empire Boulevard bike lane.
Can you hear me?
Quick switch, there we go.
All right, okay, the final speaker we have this evening is John Wolf.
Great. So good evening, everybody. My name is John Wolfling, and I would like to address some comments that were made at last month's general meeting. For those of you that weren't there, or maybe don't remember, I was painted as somebody who is only willing to put up with construction that's not in my backyard, and more than willing to have my neighbors carry out their needs. Now, I can understand why you would come to that conclusion. I live in the landmark section of our neighborhood. But I also live very close to Flatbush Avenue, just a couple hundred feet from Flatbush Avenue. And a couple years ago, there was a project built there called the Park Line. And many in the community were against that project. Maybe even some people in this room were against that project. But I was not. I was in favor of it. And let me be clear, I had nothing to do with that project. I was not part of the team. I wasn't the architect. I had no vested interest there. But I was in support of the project. I also remember what was there before. There was a single-story parking garage that was an eyesore. It was a stucco-clad, ugly thing. And when you walk by that garage door on the west side of Flatbush Avenue, you took your life in your hands when you were doing it. It was a very dangerous situation. I also know what replaced that building. But I remember the disruption. I remember the concrete trucks. I remember the dust. I remember understanding when the 23 stories rose that some of my backyard was going to get shaded by that building superstar. So I know about disruption, I know about construction, and I've been impacted by it in the neighborhood. What replaced that garage was a 23-story building, a mixed-use building, that has a beloved daycare center, Maple Street School. It's got a restaurant that somehow survived COVID. It has a store that has since moved out, but something's going to come back. And of the 258 apartments that are there, 51 of them are affordable. And not like the 130 AMI affordable, 40 to 50% of AMI affordable. And that is, for a family of three, about $56,000 to $72,000 a year for a family of three. So affordability that matches a healthy portion of our neighborhood, about 20% of our neighborhood. So I am not addressing you tonight as a developer, because I'm actually an architect. I am addressing you as a neighbor who knows that construction can be very disruptive, but some benefit can come from that. And I would advocate that this community board has a role to play in development to help guide that change. Our city and our community is going to change. It's going to continue to change. There's no way to avoid that. We should be part of that process. We shouldn't stick our heads in the sand and think it's not going to happen. It's going to happen. We should be part of that. Thank you for your attention.
Excuse me, can I speak out of turn?
As you speak out of
Can I
turn.
speak out of turn? Well, I didn't follow the process and the procedure, so I just want to know, I have a question for the
There's a
chair.
question. We're quick on this question.
Excuse me. I don't know if I need the microphone, my voice is pretty strong still. Once and again, I'm fighting a battle in this community where I've been since 1965. I'm old enough to be here that long, to keep a hospital open. I fought the battle with Kingsbrook. In fact, if you don't believe me, go look at Crane's New York Business, February 22nd, 2020, excuse me, 2020, I'm on the front page of that. In the battle to keep Kingsbrook open. We lost that war. Now, the state wants to close downstate. Last month, because I'm in that battle, I was coming to the meeting that the community board was having. The meeting was undone. It wasn't a meeting of the health committee. I looked on the calendar for this month, and there isn't one. So my question to the chair is, do you and do we not think that we have an emergency situation? I know that you wrote a letter to them. I haven't heard any feedback that Downstate has said any particular thing. I'm following along pretty carefully. I'm continuing what I'm supposed to do in my community, and I want to know what the community board is doing about assisting us, the people that are working on that project, to keep Downstate open. Because my question would be right now, if I don't go, we went through the fancy dance that they gave us about One Brooklyn Health. Anybody that does a little research knows what that dance was all about, okay? So now they're here again. My question to you is, where do I go if I need to go to the hospital? So I'm asking you, as the chair, to investigate. I know you wrote them a letter. Did they answer you? Did they say, we want to see you? No, we don't want to see you. Have you written to the governor? Have you written to Hakeem? What is this body, which represents the community, doing to help to provide assistance to the people that are helping that? I'm working with the union people because that's what I know how to do. And I'm also working with the benefit people. That's what I know how to do. So I'm asking you, what do you do?
Community Board 9 has been very committed to this conversation, because there has been no conversation prior to this. So, to your point, yes, there was a letter that was written. We have specifically requested information about financials, what's going on. We are on record as saying this is really a slap in the face of the community to Downstate. Because Downstate was a COVID-only hospital, and a lot of the financial problems they have are because they were a COVID-only hospital, and they're being punished because they take care of poor people. So we are very clear in that. We actually, as a board, had a joint town hall with Community Board 17.
I was there.
At which we had a number of elected officials, and we were able to get them on board as well, and state their commitment to Downstate, to making sure we do what's right by them and by this district as well. There are a couple of, there's definitely conversations that can happen that are tied to the budget. I think we should be hearing some updates with respect to that shortly, and we're taking some of our cues based on what comes back from that. But we are definitely, I mean, Downstate is not in CB9, but CB9 cares about Downstate because Downstate takes care of 1.2 million in the catchment. So yes, it affects everyone that we're talking about. I don't have too many answers right now, but it is a continuing conversation. And again, if we're reading the papers, we're hearing that there are budget conversations that are coming. So there should be some updates that go along with that. And from there, we're going to be developing our plan in terms of how to further address.
Okay, well, plug me into the plan. Absolutely.
And for everyone who's interested, that was Ms. Karen.
I'm sorry. I just assume they know who I am. I'm sorry, no, my sons, by the way, are calling me now Citizen Karen. So if you see something come in your email that says Citizen Karen, that's me. My son said, "Mom, why you don't?" I said, "Okay." It's
Not
what is
Citizen
it?
Kane.
It's the what?
All right, so that concludes the public commentary section. And again, I thank everyone who provided comments. This is definitely how we understand the sentiments that are going on in the community, what the important issues are. Sometimes we don't know what we don't know, so this is why it's important for us to have that conversation and dialogue to really provide that space. And I apologize because I know it's not a lot of time to allow for that. And just as a PSA, that's why I encourage for everyone to please make sure you're going to the committee meetings, because it allows for those fuller discussions of the issues that are going on, and it helps us to triage what's going on, where it's coming from, and we can figure out what conversations we should be having and what spaces and places we need to be. But again, thank you to everyone who presented and spoke tonight, and and we'll definitely be getting back as soon as we get word about a number of the topics. Okay, so that completes our public commentary period. We are now going to go on to acknowledgements. All right, first, if we could have a representative from, State Senator Zelma Myers on this. Representatives.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Portia Edwards. I'm the District Director for State Senator Zelma Myers' office. I have a couple of announcements today. One very important announcement that I just received at 7 o'clock. And so it's a citizen Karen's request. I just got a message from the senator at 7 o'clock that says specifically, we have saved downstate and are hammering out the details on how to move forward. We will have an official announcement as soon as the budget is finished, but we all did it. We've saved some downstate. And so the senator will be making an announcement once the budget is officially passed. A couple of office updates. I just wanted to let you guys know our office now has evening hours every third Wednesday of the month. So I think that's next Wednesday. We're open from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., but regular office hours are from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. by appointment. So please feel free to give our office a call to make an appointment if you need any help within the state bounds. We have Puff in our office every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., helping people fill out for Housing Connect. We've had a couple of constituents be successful with their application, and so, we do encourage people to continue to come out and look for housing through Housing Connect if you are looking.
What day is that?
Wednesdays from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Every Wednesday?
Every Wednesday, yes.
Wonderful.
A couple of other announcements. Okay, events. This Saturday, we're going to be working with Caribbean at the Plaza area right on Washington and Empire Boulevard, doing a cleanup, healthy food giveaway, talking about Earth Day and how we can continue to better our community and Earth as a whole. We are doing a job fair on May 8th, right here in this building, with Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce. So we'll be here in this building. If you are a provider and you would like to register, please reach out to our office and we can help you register for that. On May 18th, we are doing a immigration resource fair at SUNY Downstate. So please reach out to our office if you know anyone. We will be sending out those flyers to the board as well so that you can see it. On April 27th, which is my birthday, which is next Saturday, we will be at Boys and Girls High School to do a constituent resource fair along with Congressmember Hakeem Jeffries and a couple of other elected officials' offices. Our office is located at 1077 Nostrand Avenue, not too far from where we are right now. And if you guys have any questions or need to make an appointment, the number is 718-284-4700. Any questions? Yes.
There was a letter sent requesting the senator to come and speak to
I did get that letter. I received that
what
letter
is
and
his response?
I've sent it to the senator's executive assistant.
And
That's all the information that I have.
this is your elected official.
Ms. Edwards, thank you very much for that. And please relate to the senator. We look forward to hearing what the 10-year plan is to fully restore Downstate to a premier institution in Central Brooklyn. Saving them for another year or two is not, it's a step, but that shouldn't be the goal.
Got it.
Thank you. Okay. All right, we have a representative from Brooklyn Borough President Antonio Reynoso.
Hi, good afternoon, good night actually, everyone. I just wanted to discuss, just state, two youth initiatives by Borough President Reynoso. One, he's launched a graduation award, and this is for 2004 pre-K to 12 graduation award. The application opened. 3 award categories that graduating students are eligible to be nominated for. So if you're a school administrator, either public, private, charter, whatever the school is, you can nominate up to 1 graduating student for the DPS award. And you can find the information on the website on the Contact Us section. And the deadline is May 17th at 5 p.m. The borough president is also establishing a youth advisory council, and he's looking for a CBO to work along to provide some technical assistance with this. And eligible CBOs can visit the initiative section of our website to apply. The deadline for that one, though, is in 2 days on the 22nd. And just community boards, appointees, appointments, those should be released within the week. So check your emails for you applicants, whether you were appointed at this time or not appointed. We're going to be contacting everyone, so 7 days or more, or before. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Do we have a representative from Councilmember Darlene Neal's office?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone, or good evening, sorry. My name is Rosen, I'm from Councilmember Millie's office, I'm her specialist. First I'll give you my information, so then anyone can just jot down. The office number is 718-953-3097, I'm on section 105, if you want to explain any concerns, events, or anything to me, you can just send me an email at rsanchez@council.nyc.gov. Just a couple events that we have coming up. Our next Community Advisory Board meeting is April 27th at PS 4265 Ralph Avenue. We're having Timba, which is TIMBA Inc., come out, and they're going to do training for Narcan training. We're going to give out free kits to everyone. Also presented by the City of Yes by MTOP. Sorry, I'm really bad at speaking. We're also partnering with JD for It's My Park Day, a park cleanup project on this Saturday from 10 to 2. We're going to pray down 260 Ralph Avenue. Come on out, we're going to clean up the park, have some music, they're giving out goodies, food, and everything to the community. We just want to make sure that we keep the community and the parks clean. We also do food pantries every first and third Wednesdays of the month. First come, first served between the hours of 11 and 1. All these flyers are all set up on the table if you would like to take before you leave. We have our resource guides. We have the immigration that come out every Thursday. You can, with CUNY citizenship now, you can always call the office to make an appointment, and they will set you up with an appointment. We're also partnering with Fair Funds NYC. That will be on May the 13th. There's more info to come with this. I don't have much of the information because it was just set today at like 4:30 that we just have these flyers. But if you would like more information, you can also contact me an email or call the office for more information on this as well.
Thank you very much. All right, do we have a representative from the CCRB?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Venus Gantaberry. I am the Brooklyn Outreach Coordinator for the New York City Civilian Complaint. Right here? Okay, sorry. Good evening, everyone. I'm Venus Gantaberry, Brooklyn Outreach Coordinator for the New York City Civilian Complaint Review Board. I have a couple of updates. Essentially, we are a city agency that independently investigates, mediates, and administratively prosecutes allegations of police misconduct. Our jurisdiction is force, abuse of authority, discourtesy, and offensive language, as well as sexual misconduct and racial profiling/bias-based policing. We are Civilian Oversight of PD. Just a couple of announcements. Our interim chair, Arbor Rice, testified to City Council on our budgetary needs last month and asked for an additional $15 million increase This will ensure that our agency can fulfill all hiring vacancies, because we did have to relinquish some of our jurisdiction because we just don't have the manpower to fulfill all investigations. Also, I'm an outreach coordinator, so I do all know your rights workshops, do basic info sessions on street encounters, level 1, 2, and 3, as well as address stop and frisk. So if any organization, school, community center needs a workshop, my number is 917-742-4098. I'll also leave a couple of business cards, so I don't have to say my email because my name is super long. And lastly, we have board meetings monthly. They are the second Wednesdays of the month. So please come out. We just had a meeting yesterday, which our chair and our executive director addressed the Kawasaki Traywood case, the young man who lost his life during a mental health crisis by police. We are saddened by the outcome of the prosecution due to the NYPD's delays on just giving us the evidence to fulfill the case. They found the officers not guilty. So please, we want to hear your voice. Come to our next board meeting. We hold them at 100 Church Street, Lower Manhattan, 10th floor. We used to hold them in the community, but the budget cuts are just crazy. But also you can just look on WebEx and we can have a great discussion. So I'm Venus. I'll leave some flyers if it's okay, and I appreciate the time that you're giving me. Thank you. I represent the New York City Civilian Complaint Review Board, also known as CCRB.
Thank you very much. Do we have a representative from Congresswoman Yvette Clarke's office?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Ellie Slavin. I represent Congresswoman Yvette Clarke. I'm her community liaison. We have a lot of our information going on in DC legislation and letters on clark.house.gov. Again, clark.house.gov. You can go on the website and see what's going on in DC with the Congresswoman. Also, all our events and outreach programs are always sent to the County Board 9's website, so you can get over there. Also, we're located at 222 Lenox Road, that's between Rogers and Nostrand. Our phone number is 718-287-1142. We handle all federal issues, veterans, housing, IRS, Social Security, passports and visas, and immigration. This is a public announcement. I happen to be in the office strictly with passports. Those of you who are traveling, make sure that your passports are 6 months valid. And if they're not, and you plan on traveling, it's very well worthwhile spending the extra $70, maybe 70 plus 20 for expediting, because they're running a bit late. Also, if you have an issue where you're traveling within 5 to 10 days and you don't have a passport, do call our office, because we do have it inside with the passport office, with the congressional liaisons, and we can, in many instances, get you your passport expedited. Good night, stay safe.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Nice to know we have a man on the inside.
Sorry?
Good to know we have a man on the inside.
Well connected. Connected to you.
Oh, then nobody's even. Thanks to all the representatives, the liaisons, thanks to all the elected officials. It's really the partnership that helped us to get things done and get the word out. So thanks to all of you. These really are thanks to all the elected officials and all the agencies. So that completes our public session. We are now going to go into the business session. Madam Secretary, would you please call the roll?
Nicholas Omenauer.
Present.
Fred Baptiste.
Present.
Janelle Brazil Charles. Yeah. Rabbi Yaakov Berman.
Present.
Anita Best. Anita Best. Augustine Blackwell. Augustine Blackwell. Celeste Chase. Suki Chow.
So carried. Candace Edwards. Bishop Hamilton Gonzalez.
Present.
Yusuf Herkoff. Renisha Laberry. Primo Lozana. Mayana Goodman.
Present.
Israel Herb. Francisco Leopold. Courtney Lozano.
Present.
Mabina Latry.
Present.
Ira Mazursky. John Renner. Latoya McGee. Laki Mushi.
Present.
Patricia Moses. Patricia Moses. Beverly Newsom.
Here.
Ethan Nardo.
Present.
Yankee Pearson. Vanessa.
Here.
Renetta Ron Perry.
Present.
Dexter Roberts. Denise Robertson. Minnie Rosenberger.
Present.
Dion Saab. Debbie Timothy.
Present.
Valeria. Teresa Masterson.
Here. Present.
Lorianne Wilson. Lorianne Wilson. John Wolfman.
Present.
Lorianne Wilson.
Are there any members who didn't hear the name called? We have 24 members present. We have a quorum. Thank you very much. At this time, there are a couple of changes I think we need to make to the agenda that we want to have take care of. So, and then I'll have the board on. Item F, nominations committee is not a voting item, so we're going to be removing that. It's not a voting item. That's the announcement of the nominations committee members for the bylaws. There's another one else here. Yeah, the subcommittee action, and the subcommittee is an add, so that was not put on, that was not voted on by the executive committee on Tuesday. So we just want to make sure that it's included as an item for this evening for discussion. So what we're doing is, what I'm asking for is a motion to approve this agenda where the nominations, item F is removed and item G is formally adopted by the board. Do I have a motion?
Wait, what G is the subcommittee?
Yeah, that wasn't on, that wasn't voted on at the executive, so we're adding it as a board now.
So the
So you
public
wanna
safety
add G and
subcommittee?
remove them?
Correct.
Yeah.
Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda as stated?
Motion.
I've moved by Almanor, seconded by Rowan All right, is there any objection?
to common consent? Call for second time. Any objection to common consent? Hearing none, thank you. The agenda is adopted. We are now going to move on to item 2, the approval of the March 2024 General Board meeting minutes. The minutes should have been sent out as part of the package and posted. Are there any corrections to be made to the minutes? I call for a second time. Are there any corrections to be made to the minutes? Okay, hearing none, is there any objection to adoption of the minutes by common consent? Okay, hearing no objection, the minutes stand approved by common consent. Okay, we're going to item 3, committee reports. The committee reports have been submitted as part of the package of the agenda. Are there any chairs that have announcements that need to be made? Very briefly, please come and join me.
For all the elected officials here, we do have 2 significant rezoning applications coming up, one on Empire Boulevard and one on Franklin Avenue. They're asking for fairly massive increases in density in exchange for the usual amount of affordable housing. Some of these are sensitive sites in terms of height, so we ask for your partnership in negotiating these deals and hearing what the community wants. Second, we do have citywide text amendments that are coming up that are essentially changing the zoning code to allow what can be built throughout the entire city. It's upzoning the entire city, and it's becoming very clear that there's going to be an outsized impact on certain districts, including ours, districts which did not get contextual rezoning, which did not get appropriate downzoning 10, 20 years ago. We do not have a community plan to oppose this. Bushwick, for example, has a community plan. There have been other communities that have done community plans. So that brings me to Ms. Boyd's comment about the 197C. That is what a 197C is. This board has a standing committee for 197A. A 197A plan is something that is proposed by a community board or by the Department of City Planning, and then goes through the ULURP process. But a 197C is a plan that can be proposed by any person or agency. So this gives the community and community groups a chance to participate in shaping this plan and in shaping development the way that we want it to happen. So I just want to be very clear about that. You know, if you want to see what the discussion of the executive committee was, you can watch that tape. It's all public for a reason. You know, but we're not proposing to do anything in secret. Obviously, a 197C plan is a community participation plan, and we want you to know that it exists. The discussion originally came out of requests to have joint committee meetings. We don't, I believe, have procedures for that, and but what we do have is a standing 197A committee, which traditionally at this board is a committee of all the committees to discuss comprehensive planning for the district. It just hasn't met in like 10 plus years, not since the time that I've been.
It's not a standing committee. We've stood it up before, but it's not a standing committee.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So the alternative is 197C. So that's all I had to say. But keep an eye out for City of Yes. It's very, very important. Really, literally, this entire community could be demolished. We really don't want to see that. And please, elected officials, please stand up for us. They are coming for us in a lot of different ways.
Thank you very much. All right, are there any other committee chairs that have any announcements that need to be made with respect to their committees? Hold on a second.
Welcome to announcement, Nicholas Salmonov, Chair of Education and Culture. We didn't have a meeting this month because of lack of quorum, because we are really interested in discussing CBA, the situation with Mount Prospect Park. So I want to.
We need order. I hear voices back.
At Mount Prospect Park, the plans a garden, so we are invited to Councilwoman Crystal Hudson to come, and we are inviting her again to come there. She's willing to come, so I'm looking for people to come at our meeting next month. Thank you.
When is that, where is that meeting taking place?
That meeting is gonna be taking place at,
If the council member is there, I will without a doubt find a space where we can hold enough people. It will not be at the board office with the
Yes.
council member presenting. So just keep it, if,
so I'm needing to discuss the skate garden at Mount Prospect Park, which is between the Brooklyn Museum and the library.
Skateboarding.
The skateboard, so there's a lot of concern about that. The councilwoman has committed to come and speak to the community, to this community. So for next April, the second Thursday, if we get a lot of response, what I may want to suggest, if you want to come attend the meeting, we try to the box office so we get an idea how many people are coming, so we could have the appropriate space. Thank you for your attention.
What about the fair?
The fair is going to be coming up in the busy session, and I think we'll deal about it.
This is
For the district manager's report and the chair report.
Okay.
Okay, then you could ask your question then. Thank you.
You got that?
Jenna, I just want to update you on a project from the Youth Services Committee, our cleanup project. Today it's a goal. We got all our plans in action, all our workers together. We would really appreciate if you could have some more board members come, or even your family or friends. It will be held on April 27th. Our meeting space, if you want to meet us, is at 10 o'clock. Meet us at Franklin and Eastern Parkway. We will meet there, and then we'll divide up into all different groups that we will be working. We will start from Eastern Parkway on Nostrand. No, we start from Eastern Parkway at Franklin. Then our area is from Nostrand down to Empire, back across to Washington Avenue, and that, in that square, up and down, each 2 blocks area, and we will end at Washington Avenue and Empire right by the McDonald's, and we're hoping to have some refreshments through there, so.
What time do you want people to meet you at
10
Franklin Avenue?
o'clock, I'm saying.
10 o'clock at Franklin Avenue, Eastern Parkway.
10 a.m., not in the nighttime, sorry. We won't be there tonight.
I was gonna be there next. Okay, thank you very much to all the chairs for those reports. And please, and I understand that April was a very challenging month, especially because we had to rearrange a lot of schedules. I would just remind the board members and the community as well, please make sure you're looking at the e-blasts and you're looking at the board calendar as well. There's a lot of movement, especially now that we're meeting in person again. The locations may be subject to change, so please make sure you're looking at those and responding and checking your emails. So now we're going to move on to item 4, district manager's report.
All right, good evening, everyone. Just an update, so I just want to make it clear, I have not seen any new presentations, but I have been after the Department of Transportation regarding the Washington Avenue Improvement Project. They presented this before the board back in November of 21. So essentially, they're looking to close the slip at Washington Classen, right next to the International High School. They're thinking about making that a plaza. That's at least what they presented back in the day. The DDC has informed me that they have commenced a preliminary design for that plaza, and they plan to complete that project in the summer of 25. So as I continue to get information on it, I'll be sure to pass it along to our transportation committee and to the public. But just look out for that because that's going to, I have a feeling it's going to come up quick. The 2023-2024 cooling assistance benefit opened up on the 15th of April. You may be eligible for this cooling assistance, which is part of HEAP. Benefit if your household gross monthly income is at or below the current income guidelines for your household size, or you're on SNAP or other type of benefits. New York City residents are encouraged to apply online at access.nyc.gov, or you can call 1-800-342-3009 for more information. And we'll put that in the e-blast as well. The Department of Buildings is proposing to amend its rules regarding the tax abatements a property owner can receive for the installation of solar electric generation system and electric storage equipment. DOB will hold this public hearing online on April 22nd, starting at 11 a.m. You have the ability to comment now if you would like to go online to NYC Rules. Google NYC Rules, it'll come up. If you search, you will find it. You can go ahead and comment now if you would like. If you would like to participate again, it's going to be at 11 a.m. You can also email your comments to dobrules@buildings.nyc.gov. The New York City Department of Transportation is proposing to authorize the Mayor's Office of Citywide Event Coordination and Management to establish requirements and issue permits for events and activities on open streets. Open streets used to go through DOT, now they're moving it over to the Mayor's Office because the Mayor's Office typically handles street permits. So they're just moving it over because that agency does that. If you're interested, sorry, let me show this part. If you're interested in commenting, comments are due by April 22nd, and you can email rules@dot.nyc.gov. The Department of Consumer and Worker Protection is proposing to add rules to implement Local Law 128 of 2021, allowing businesses to hold newsstand licenses. DCWP is also proposing to amend several sections of the rules of the City of New York applicable to newsstands, to add definitions, to amend certain application procedures, and to amend certain application procedures and citing requirements. The public hearing for that will take place April 29th, starting at 11 a.m. online. You can comment ahead of time if you would like. If you would like to comment via email, you can email rulecomments, all one word, rulecomments@dcwp.nyc.gov. The Landmarks Preservation Commission, LPC, is proposing to amend Section 2-23 of its rules to permit the installation of bus shelters in areas under LPC's jurisdiction. Comment can be made by May 14th of this year. Online, you can do that as of now. The public hearing will be held also May 14th at 9:30 a.m. at LPC, which is located at 1 Center Street, the 9th floor in Lower Manhattan. If you would like, you can email nycrules@lpc.nyc.gov. Let's see what's next up. Okay, I just want to also encourage folks, there's a lot of conversation around smoke shops. I want to encourage you to go onto the OCM website. You can sign up for updates directly from OCM. They will send you a map of all of the locations that were just permitted by the agency. So if you do not see them on there, they're illegal. All right. I also want to encourage folks, the applicant for the 972 Franklin Avenue rezoning that came before the ULURP committee, I want to encourage people to grab that presentation. We do have copies over on that table. Please take that home with you and review that. I just want to also note that that ULURP meeting, we are working on getting that video on YouTube, having a little bit of a hiccup downloading it from Facebook. So if anyone knows that, please reach out to me. Let's see. Oh, and the last thing I would like to ask is, if you aren't on the e-blast or you know someone who should be on the e-blast who needs information, encourage them to sign up for our e-blast. If they don't have internet, give them the phone number, call the board office. The team and I will figure out how to get them information, but we want to make sure people are plugged in and connected. Hear me, I need your help. Plugged in and connected, because not every person knows me. You all know a lot of people, so connect them to me. We'll get them on our e-blast because we send out a lot of information. City, yes, there's a lot. A lot is going to be happening. We're going to continue to send out this information via our e-blast. It's the fastest way for us to get information to people. So if you can help me get people signed up for it, that would be great. If they don't have an email, you wanna give them information, that would be great too. But we'll figure out a way to get people information. Right, that's the finale of my report.
Thank you, Dante, for giving out those blasts. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Ms. Lloyd.
All right, we'll take, questions from the district manager. Hold on. Ms. Newsom, I see you. Hold on a second. Are there any other questions? Anyone else has a question for the district manager? Yeah.
Email address.
Oh, okay. For smoke shop?
OCO.
Oh, the OCM. Oh, I don't have that email, but I will get you that information. If anyone, you know what, I'll create something, and I'll put it in a blast, we'll do that.
Is it possible, can we post that on the board website?
Yeah, we'll get it up. Okay.
All right, Ms. Newsom,
So, first, I like to comment, and I know that's how you get the information. The report tonight should have had a whole bunch of edits, and everybody should have had a copy, so they could understand what you were saying. With all the acronyms and all of that, a lot of it went over my head, except for one. And one is stating the bus stops and landmark sections were gonna be changed, but didn't say change to what?
I got you.
Thank you.
The Landmark Preservation Commission, okay, is proposing to amend Chapter 2, Section 2-23 by adding a subsection D to number 1. Number 1, make the work of the commission more transparent and efficient. Number 2, address existing and new governmental criteria for the installation of bus shelters throughout the city, including the designated historic districts as required by the Coordinated Street Furniture franchise. And number 3, to delegate to the LPC staff the authority to approve permits for bus shelters that are located at official bus stops.
So your report is gonna be in our notes next minute?
I give it to the
Okay.
executive secretary.
All right, thank you.
Of course.
and if there are any announcements, that also goes out as part of the e-blast, correct?
This?
Announcements and.
Oh, the announcements will always be in the e-blast, yes, yes, yes.
Thank you very much. Okay, all right, thank you very much. We are now going to move on to the chairman's report. I'm going to try and be brief, but bear with me because we have a lot. And I want to say, first of all, thank you to everyone for we're in April, so we are now in the home stretch of the community year, which will end as of June 30th. In that time, there is a lot for us to do. So let's go through a few items first. The representative from Borough Hall is here, so she mentioned that we are going to be having appointments happening. So there are going to be reappointments happening, there will be new appointments happening, and we are going to have members leaving in a very short period of time. Not exactly the greatest time for the board, because that means that there's a very short period of time where we may have to replace people, we may lose people, from different committees and things of that nature. We have new members who are coming in into what is probably arguably going to be one of the busiest sections of our year. All right, so I'm asking for everyone to please, I need you now more than ever. Please make sure you are going to your meetings. Please make sure you are watching the communications, because we're going to need everybody on board. You'll have to onboard people very quickly as well. So it's going to be very helpful if we're here, we're knowledgeable, and we're able to guide them as we go along. So part of that transition that's going to happen, I know that there's a significant number of board members who are not coming back. Let me say, first of all, thank you very much for your service and your dedication to the community. Please don't be strangers. We wish, we'll ask you to continue to come to the board. If you could find ways and rules in terms of staying active with us, we would love to see that. As part of that as well, if you are a board member who's going to be off ramping, I guess, if you wish to stay on your respective committee, please just let us know, because we can just change your designation from board member to resident member. All right, and then you'll be able to stay on with your respective committees through the end of the year, at which point we reset. Okay, so that's always very helpful, because it helps with the knowledge transfer. We get to finish out the year strong, and our committees get to finish out strong as well. Part of that transition that we're looking at as well, as I said, we're going to be getting new members. So I'm working with the district office in terms of trying to come up with an onboarding plan as well. So a meet and greet at least. Hopefully we can get
some crash course training so that way we can discuss some of the items that are going to be happening this year. Particularly because we have ULURP applications that are coming up. We have City of Yes, some more technical things that will make people's heads spin if we don't give them some kind of orientation. So please look out for that information as that comes out. Okay. OCM SLA, we have heard the cries and screams, so we know. These are already very, very difficult technical conversations that are happening. SLA, we've always struggled with that. I think there, in terms of what are the things we're looking at in SLA applications, what questions we're asking, what kinds of stipulations we're doing. I think one of the questions we need to ask is how do we remain consistent in terms of that. A concern I have is that, you know, why does one application get 10 a.m., another application gets 1 a.m., another application gets these? It's important for us to say at least we're consistent so that way people who come to the district know what the expectation is. So it's not a mixed bag every time somebody walks through. And we should be able to hold people accountable to that as we go along as well. So that's part of the conversation that we are going to be having. I'm going to be assisting the Public Safety Committee over the next couple of months in terms of making sure we're able to address the applications. But part of that is also how do we move forward as well to make sure that the process isn't burdensome, that everyone is clear in terms of what the expectations are and what the rules are. So part of what I am going to be doing, I know that there is an item this evening for cannabis, CBI cannabis subcommittee. Part of what I've already requested from the district office is that we kind of stage some of that conversation as well to see how much we can get done, sans putting another committee together with more resources in it. So hopefully we'll be able to get some of that information out and we can set up a subcommittee as necessary. But I think we might have the resources where we can set that conversation up, or at least streamline if there's a subcommittee that's necessary, what exactly do they need to do? So there'll be some conversation with respect to that. The community fair. Nothing, did you discuss that before? Okay, I will hold off, Dr. You can come back and do that, so while we got that.
All right, sorry about that. So it should be in your packet, maybe the last page. So we do have a budget for the community fair. I'm using the same vendor that we used last 2 years for the chairs. Looking at tables and chairs and what we've used in previous years, I think that this is a fine budget. I don't think that we're going to get close to going over it. So just asking for the support of the board for this budget so we can get this thing moving.
Can I make a comment on the budget?
Hold on, hold on. Let me get to, we're in my report right now. Let me get to the end of that and then we'll take a couple questions. Okay, so the community fair, we'll talk about that. The budget has been handed out. We'll discuss that at the end. The questions, and we can answer those. And that'll be a voting item. That's a voting item when we get to the voting session. DOT issues. So definitely I want to thank the Transportation Committee for everything that you've been doing with respect to the bike lanes. One of the things I do also want to make sure, this is something I'm going to be very, very adamant about. I want us to be holistic about how we look at things in terms of the transportation. Because if you build a bike lane here, you lose parking here. Add more bikes here, potentially you add more city bikes or whatever else and what have you. Part of what I would like to see is that there's a comprehensive, holistic look at the way transportation works. And that means looking at all the different modes of transportation. It means you look at traffic, you look at traffic calming, you look at parking, you look at city bikes as how they're part of the transportation grid. You look at the car shares as how they act as a part of the transportation grid. We look at bike lanes, what options are appropriate in different sections. Some sections may lend themselves to, I think protected lanes has been one of the priorities of the city. Some places in CD9 they will wreak havoc in terms of transportation the way we do it. So it's one of those things that I think as we're adding those pieces, we want to make sure that they're holistic. We've already started the conversation with DOT, and I think it might be good for us to get that conversation going right now. And let's put it all on the table and let's start having conversations when we have all those pieces to make sure we're not doing onesie twosie. And then we build all these bike lanes, but they are not, they're not consistent, or they don't work well with other things that are in the toolbox. So that's a conversation that we're looking to stay continuing with that. Again, it's going to be a packed agenda. The land use chair has already said we have at least 2 applications that are coming up, and they're going to be big ones. We have to have a lot of conversations. And let me warn everyone right now, one of my pet peeves has always been they do these things at the absolute worst time. So they want to do them towards May, June, potentially even going into the summer, which I think is one of the most disrespectful things when we're on hiatus for those months. Which means either we're really in rushing to do something or we miss an opportunity to have input on something we should absolutely have input on. I'm not sure how much we're going to have that opportunity to say, hold off until the fall. So I just want to ask everyone to please be vigilant and to pay attention to when we put these meeting calls out, because we may have to work very quickly to make sure we are having hearings at the time we have to make sure we are engaging with the developers or whoever the applicants are, to make sure we can vote. I will warn you now, June may be very, very busy. That last meeting in June may be, it's probably gonna be really hard. But I'm warning everyone right now, because we're gonna meet everyone on board. We need to make sure that we are on point and we get the community's input, and that we make the decisions that are appropriate for any developments that come to us. Okay, so I ask for everyone's cooperation and attention with that one. Again, the City of Yes, all those things that happen with that. Okay, and I think, last but not least, nominations. April starts our election cycle. So per our bylaws, in April, we impanel a nominations committee. The nominations committee is tasked with contacting all board members to ascertain who is interested in running for an office or position. The limitations in terms of who can run basically are you can't be a new member, so all new members are excluded from that. They can't run for an office. And if you have really bad attendance, well, we've kind of taken care of most of the people with bad attendance. Not everyone, but most of them. And then that happens in May. We open the floor. We establish a ballot in May. And those people who have been established in May run in June. And that June meeting is dedicated to the actual election process. Okay? So you don't have to, don't worry about it if you didn't take notes. We'll make sure that's all communicated out. But that process starts this month with the impanelment of the nominations. Per the bylaws, it's a number of between 5 to 7 members to all members. So it's either 5 or 7 members that we have. So the members that I have asked to serve on the nominations committee are Debbie Timothy, Swallower, Zlati Munchkin, Nicholas Almanor, and Bishop Hamilton Gonzalez.
We object to that. That's a conflict of interest.
And
he's already an executive board member.
Oh, you did already. Please be seated.
No,
So
I'm not going to be seated. It's a conflict of interest.
Ms.
And
Boyd,
the executive board agreed.
Ms. Boyd, you're out of order. We need to complete
No,
this.
you're out of order
You
by
are, Ms. Boyd, Ms.
choosing
Boyd.
people who are already on the board
Ms. Boyd.
who are executive members.
There is no
and you
conflict
want-
in the bylaws. We
There
have
is a
already reviewed
conflict.
this with
It's a
legal counsel.
conflict.
We have already reviewed this. This is not something
It
new.
is a conflict.
The board has done this. Ms. Boyd.
No, it's a
Ms.
conflict.
Boyd.
How are you going to
Ms.
be
Boyd.
on a
You
community?
are out of
How are
order.
you going to
Ms.
be on
Boyd.
the election committee
Ms.
and also
Boyd.
run?
You are out of order. Please be seated. You're out of order. Please be seated.
No, you're out of order. Because
Ms.
again,
Boyd.
you are endangering this community.
Madam Secretary, please note for the record.
You are endangering this
Please note for the
community
record.
of sitting there having more lawsuits filed against
Please
you.
note for the record, everyone has been advised the rules of conduct are in effect and may not be out of order. Ms. Boyd. Ms. Boyd, please be seated. 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 You have the option of filing another Article 78 if you wish, but we have decided. We have decided. Ms. Boyd, Ms. Boyd. Ms. Boyd, please be seated. Madam Secretary. Ms. Boyd, please be seated or you'll have to request
They
it to
sat there and agreed that you could not
Ms. Boyd,
run
Ms. Boyd, please be
and
seated
also
or
be
you'll have to
on
request
the,
it.
on the committee. That's not the same thing. It is the same thing.
Madam Secretary, please report for the record that Ms. Boyd has been requested to please be seated or she will be absent.
People who are running as well as now have to choose the election. That doesn't, you're right. Of course I'm right about that.
Ms. Boyd,
Everybody
please be
knows
seated.
that's
Please be
common
seated.
knowledge. It's common knowledge.
Please be
Well,
seated.
it's a conflict of interest.
Please be seated.
You're on the election committee, you're choosing who
Okay.
to run, and you're running yourself.
Ms.
It's a
Boyd.
conflict of interest.
Ms. Boyd, please be seated. You made your point. You have made your point.
And they stated it
have made your point. Ms. Boyd, please be seated. You have made your point. Please be seated. Madam?
You're sitting there putting
Miss-
people on the election committee who already
Ms.
holding
Boyd,
an office.
Ms. Boyd,
Who are
it
holding
is
an
within the
office.
purview of the chair to appoint those members.
They are running.
You're
Ms.
running.
Boyd,
Doesn't matter, they're already on the election.
Okay.
They're already in office.
So, those are the members of the board, those are the members of the nominations committee that have been requested, to be, appointed to the nominations committee. Okay. So all right. So those members of the board which have been requested are Debbie Timothy, Twyla Ware. Okay, order of the day. Order of the day. Order of the day. Order of the day. All members. All members. Order of the day. All members. Order of the day. Ethan. We're moving on. Ms. Boyd, do not engage.
Matt, seriously, cut it. Just cut it. We gotta go. We all gotta go. You gotta cut it.
Okay, order of the day. All right, listen, everyone, order of the day. We are going to continue. We are going to move on. So those members who have been requested, they are going to be in panel. For those members, if there are any conflicts, please make sure to contact me and we can address after that as well. The next steps will be, once those confirmations have happened, they will schedule a meeting. They will set all the rules in terms of the contact of all the board members that have to happen for that meeting. Okay, and they will proceed from there. And again, the deliverables will be, they will present a listing of those members who have said they wish to run in that May meeting. They will open the floor for additional nominations. We will create the ballot based on those additional nominations and we vote in November. Thank you very much. Okay, so that concludes my report. That one action item which I just stated, so we've completed that section of the, yes. So we've completed that section. I will take very brief questions and only with respect to the community fair, because I know there were some budgetary questions that members might have. Who has a question with regards to community fair? Ms. Westerdahl will take a question. I'm sorry, who else has a question? We gotta move this very quickly. Any other questions regarding the community fair? Rabbi Berman? Okay, hold on. So we'll see Ms. Westerdahl, Rabbi Berman, and then we're gonna close.
I just have a question about the $1,000 for the toilets. Where's the fair going to be? There may already be public toilets. If it's at the place we've had it the last 2 years, there's really good bathrooms across the street. Seems like a lot to spend on the budget. I'd like to.
Let me make it very clear
Wait,
about
can
this
I
budget.
finish?
I'm so sorry,
Can I
but that's like,
Let her finish the question. Let her finish the question.
Usually we have a DJ as well. I don't see that there. I think that we could spend the money more wisely. That's all.
Okay, go ahead.
okay, so I just want to make it very clear for this budget. If the price comes back for the chairs and tables over $1,000, spending over $1,000 on the chairs and tables. This budget is going to fluctuate. I want everyone to understand how that's going to work, okay? So I will get final prices and then I will keep all final prices under $5,000. But this is to give you a template of what I'm trying to accomplish with it. DJ, I don't particularly want a DJ at the community fair because I don't want to tell the DJ what music to play. What I've come to learn is they play anything. And not everyone likes the same music, and that's a situation. What we can do is, we have a speaker, I'll buy another speaker. If people want to speak at the community fair, or elected officials want to come before the community and say some things, sure. But the music, if you want the music desperately, I'll get the music. But it's not a priority to me. Information at the community fair is. That's all.
Where's the fair gonna be?
We have not selected a location for the fair. So, that's where I'm at.
Thank you.
All right. So we have a budget right now, location TBD. You have a date?
Is there a date?
So, the date that has been flown around is June 1st. That is a Saturday. I'm aware, but that is a date that we typically do it the first weekend in June. It's worked for people. If you all want to do it a different date, please let me know, but as of now, I'm running with June 1st, because it's gonna be me that's taking all the calls from everyone.
Nicola didn't put in an application for it? You said it did.
Application for what?
The fair day. The fair day.
Okay, I'm sure that a couple of committee chairs put applications in for the fair.
Oh, I thought he was running it, Nicola.
You thought Mr. Almer was running the fair?
Yeah.
Oh, I understand. That might have been some confusion, because I thought that this board made the decision about the fair, and then I, as district manager, made it happen.
In the past, we had meetings.
Okay, all right, Rabbi Berman, we'll see your question.
Mr. Chair, I just want you to confirm that once the nominating committee suggests names to the board, anybody can nominate any individual from the board, and even you can nominate yourself. Meaning to say, there is nobody's hands are tied. Anybody wants to run for any seat, they can get up and say, I nominate myself for chair, I nominate myself for vice chair. Everybody's able to do that, and the floor is totally open to whoever wants to run, correct?
That is absolutely correct.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, so with that, like I said, yeah, so the one action item I had on my report that's going to be on voting items actually is the all right, so we're going to move on to the voting items. Okay. So, item A, BSA applications. All right, so the first item was for Lefrak Center. Well, actually, Primo, would you be able to do those applications?
BSA.
Oh, I'm sorry, BSA. My apologies. BSA was first. So BSA, super. Very briefly, what
I
is?
just want to say that the committee voted unanimously to recommend this application. The building is in scale. We voted to recommend it with the condition that the BSA reach out to the Department of Buildings and make sure that the adjacent building's foundation and facade are protected during the construction process. That was a concern that was expressed by our committee members last year when they first came before us. But otherwise, we find it fine.
Okay, so everyone heard that? So the recommendation was to approve, along with the recommendation that outreach is done to make sure that the adjacent properties are protected. In a nutshell?
Yes, that's
All right, perfect. All right, thank you. So it was approved by the land use committee, it was approved also by the executive committee as well. It stands before the board. Are there any questions with regards to the recommendation? Okay, hearing none, we're going to call a question. Is there any unreadiness to approving this by common consent? I call for a second time. Is there any unreadiness to approve it by common consent? Hearing none, Madam Secretary, please note that the recommendation is adopted by common consent to approve the application. All right. And also for a note, please, if you haven't done so already, Second Vice Chair Francisco Leopold is here as well. Please mark the presence of attendance. All right. Are there any other members who came in after attendance was taken? The roll is called. Okay. Thank you very much. All right. Next, we're going to move on to the New York State Liquor Authority applications. First Vice Chair.
I will do my best. As a reminder, I'm stepping in as a replacement temporarily for the former chair of the Public Safety Committee who resigned a few months ago from that chairship. So LaFrac, you heard from LaFrac, you heard from the representative, they have left. We did make a conditional approval on the condition that they begin their hours at noon rather than 10:30 a.m., those hours of service. They've chosen not to amend their application, and that's where things stand. So, you know.
So is this a renewal?
This is a renewal application.
They were previously approved for the 10 a.m. is that?
Previously approved, it's been standing since about 2013, I believe, so it's been standing for these hours for the last 10 years.
Any NYPD, FDNY issues, any of that? So why did the, if I may ask, why did the committee recommend earlier hours if there's no issues? Later, I'm sorry. Why did the committee take issue with earlier hours if there
I think it's pretty clear, right, that there's been a tone in this room over the course of the last month requesting some tightening up of hours and
for renewals?
What's the difference?
It's a big difference. Because when you're coming with 10 years and you're saying, we have 10 years of being in a location, there hasn't been any issues, as opposed to somebody coming new and saying, we're opening new and we're concerned there may be issues.
Got it.
One has to prove there's.
That's it, yeah.
Yes.
So listen, so let's do this.
But the
So
environment changes.
we're gonna put,
I know, but-
listen, so here's what we're gonna do, to make sure we move this along. So the recommendation of the committee was to approve this with those stipulations as stated by the first vice chair. So, right now, we will take questions on this, and then
We will take questions, and then we're gonna call the question and vote. So, is there anybody who has a question or comment they wish to make on this? And please keep comments very brief. All right, Ms. Newsom, I see you. Ms. Strong, I see you. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, Ms. Grant? Oh, I'm sorry, only for board members. I'm sorry. Board business session. I'm sorry. Ms. Newsom, Ms. Strong. Are there any of the board members who have questions or a comment they need to make? Okay, so then, Ms. Rome Perry, and then we're gonna close on Ms. Rome Perry. We have Ms. Newsom, Ms. Strong, Ms. Rome Perry. Ms. Newsom, go ahead.
Yes, I would be open to following suit with the committee if the person who was standing here said it was suggested for we turn to 12, but we haven't done anything to change that, so we're gonna stay at 10 o'clock. He said that definitively. So for us to approve it with conditions, knowing that he's not changing, we say no.
Okay, Ms. Jones.
So is this the kind of place that's ever had like a sign outside that says bottomless brunch or like all you can drink in 30 minutes or anything? Because that's my issue with these brunch time alcohol places. I don't want to see some people like all of
I would say that, in response to that, I would say that all I can do is speak as my own personal knowledge of this place, which is that it is not a spot that tries to bring people in to drink. It is a place that tries to bring people in to engage in the community in like the offerings of the space, and then they have the option, if you choose to go into the cafeteria space, to do so. That is what the representative said as well. That's all I can say on that.
So I'm fine with the renewal during hours.
Okay, all right. Ms. Rome Perry.
It's been 10 years, they've been doing it. I'm not understanding how come now we're just deciding that we don't want it that way.
All right, Ms. Robertson.
So, I heard you. I'm a roller skater, and I can't drink liquor and roller skate. And so I'm trying to understand, I said 10 years. All right, if this whole community has changed, we have youth over there, Pittsburgh. I mean, there has to be some limits to this, okay? And for him to say, this is what we're gonna do, I don't believe he makes that decision.
Just as a point of order and just to outline the process. We actually don't. We make a recommendation and it goes to the state legal authority. So with that being said, and I want everybody to be very cognizant. I mean, if there is an overriding pressing reason why we say, no, this is an application that shouldn't go through, those are the things that go through. If it's an argument between, we don't like the fact that they serve alcohol, but they're statutorily allowed to serve alcohol, we may lose that. So I just want everyone to be cognizant. But that's part of the reason why we need to have that conversation internally about what are we asking for and why we're asking.
And Albany is saying that they've been in business for 10 years.
So with that being said, the motion on the floor is currently to approve it. The board can forward the stipulations, absolutely. But it'll be to the state liquor authority and just understand that the applicant may still decide that they feel that they want to pursue that. Okay? All right, so with that, that was the final question comment. We are now going to call the question on this. So the motion on the floor is to adopt the recommendation of the Public Safety Committee to approve with stipulations as stated by First Vice Chair Peter Wasana. Ms. Rice.
Wait, we're voting with stipulations?
That's the motion, yeah.
Oh, okay.
The recommendation from you is stipulations.
Yeah.
But he said he doesn't have to agree to
With the stipulations.
The applicant hasn't agreed, but so.
They haven't.
Okay.
Right.
Well,
So you
Fred,
can
we're
vote
not,
for
Fred, just a point of clarification.
Yes.
We are not required to make a motion based on the vote, so we can make whatever motion we want.
If
Just
we
because
want-
just because the public safety recommended to
That's
make a
what the
motion,
motion
doesn't mean
is.
we're required to make that motion. We can make a motion to approve or to deny.
We can, well, that's the motion on the floor, we would amend.
Did somebody make that
Just
motion?
to support order.
Who made that motion?
If there's a motion to amend it, we can entertain that.
There was a motion to support it?
There was a motion.
No. The recommendation that came down was for the stipulations from the committee. That's what was moved to the board, that's what's in front of the board. If it's the board's pleasure to amend that to say, approve the application, straight, or deny the application, straight, that's fine.
Fred, I disagree with you. I think that the board now can make a motion to approve or to oppose, and we're not required to follow the recommendation of the committee. They're giving the recommendation, it's not a motion. We make the motion here. They made a recommendation, that's it. Procedurally, I'm
But
talking.
that's what we
Right,
already
but
said.
because the committee made it, that's why it's the board's business for the board.
It's our prerogative, that's what the
Right,
board
no,
wants.
and what I'm saying is the prerogative of the board is, then that motion's already been brought forward, so it's just like if I made a motion.
Nobody
you
made
wanna amend
a,
it,
somebody
you
make a
can amend it.
motion yet? Did I miss it? Did somebody make a motion or the board made a recommendation, the committee made a recommendation?
It's on the floor because it was a recommendation of the committee that.
But now somebody has to make a motion. If somebody wants to make a motion to follow the
The
recommendation,
committee recommendation is not required, because it's already on the agenda as an action item. If we wanna change the action item, we can do that.
One target that we made, the committee made a conditional recommendation, those conditions
it's
are not.
irrelevant.
made.
It's before us now, we can make whatever motion we want.
Right, what I'm saying is you can move to amend it.
You don't
can
have to
either
move
just
to
reject
amend
this altogether,
it.
or
You do
amend
not
it.
have to move to amend it.
Both of these are choices.
Yes.
You cannot have to
Chair,
amend it.
what's the what are you putting in front of us right now?
We can either vote on this, vote with the stipulations up or down. Or it might just be easier, if you feel comfortable with just letting it go.
I move to vote on the recommendation of the Public Safety Committee.
Wait a minute, how are we gonna vote on something when the applicant said he's not following the stipulation?
Exactly.
And so we're gonna vote on that with the stipulation, that he's not following?
Here's the thing. No, the sense that happens is, the actions, okay, order of the day, so we can move this. The board will vote the way it feels on the application. It goes forward to the state liquor authority. The state liquor authority can either say, I agree with CB9 and you need to do this, or it can say, CB9, I don't know what you guys are going through.
Brad, I made a
It's not.
motion to vote on the recommendation of the Public Safety Committee.
It's already on the floor. We're just voting on it.
You're trying to bulldoze it.
The recommendation is already on the floor. All we're doing is voting on it. We already had the unreadiness. So, all those okay, let's do this. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Wait, I'm not sure the motion.
Okay, let's clarify for the board. Everyone, the motion is already on the floor because it came from the committee, it's on the agenda as a voting item. We don't have to vote to put it on the floor, it's already there.
Chair, can we call and vote on this, and then can we make another motion?
No. We vote on this, either we vote on this, if you want to amend, make an amendment.
Brad, I made a motion to, what's the difference? Somebody will second it and
It's
we'll.
the same motion, that's to adopt the recommendation.
Here, there are people saying.
Okay, listen. It's already on the floor.
And I
All we
sec-
are doing is voting.
I second the motion. I
No,
second the
we
motion.
don't need to second it, it's already on the floor, we've already, okay, order of the day. Order of the day. Listen, everyone, let's stay focused, we gotta get out of here shortly. The motion is on the floor to adopt the recommendation that the committee already gave with the stipulations. So either we're voting in favor of it, or you're voting against it. So, are all those in favor of the motion? Or in favor of of adopting the recommendation of the Public Safety Committee to approve with stipulation?
With the 12 o'clock, what are the stipulations?
Yes.
12 a.m., 12.
Yes. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, all those opposed, please state your name for the record so the secretary can capture it.
Beverly Newsom opposed.
Anyone else who in opposition?
I'll abstain.
We'll get to you. We'll get to that. Those who, you done the wrong paragraph. In opposition? Ms. Chase? In opposition? Anyone else who opposes? Hearing none. All those who wish to abstain, please state your name for the record. David Timothy, please. Noted. Ms. Mashka?
Eve Cohen.
Eve Cohen? I'm so sorry. Ms. Cohen, thank you
I
very
don't
much.
mind being there.
Ms. Leopold, abstains. Anyone else wish to abstain? Okay, hearing no other objections and no other abstentions, the motion carries. Madam Secretary, report. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next one.
So, El Wasteco. Okay, so El, they weren't here. I just want to name that they came to the, Public Safety Committee meeting. They answered questions. We thought at that time that the meeting was gonna be at the school, so we told them that the general board meeting was gonna be. I'm surprised that they're not here, I just wanna
No,
let
they
all
were
that.
here, they left.
Different applicant. All right, so listen,
So we'll move on to the next application. yeah.
Well, let's do this, because what I want us to get out of the habit of doing is pushing these things, because then we lose an opportunity for both of us.
Yeah.
So, they came to public safety,
Public Safety's recommendation was to approve the license.
Was it a renewal or new applicant?
New application.
so this time, so listen, this is how it's gonna go down. It's on, well, it's on the floor, so if they wanna vote no, vote no.
Fred, we've never, were they invited here tonight?
Yes.
Yes. Historically, renewals, we vote when they're not here. New applicants, we don't typically vote when they're not here, when they're told to come. That's what I remember. If I'm wrong, correct.
Well, I think the thing is, we need to start setting a precedent, because we have people who come for one and not the other, and then we're saying, well, listen, they're good guys.
So we're setting the precedent tonight now.
They come.
All right. Remember that.
Part of that
We're gonna be
process
voting
is
on
you
every
come.
liquor license that doesn't show up from
Right.
now on.
But you gotta come. So, or at least that's the process.
Let the record reflect that.
So the recommendation was to approve the application from, for El Wasteco. They presented at public safety, they were not here this evening. So are there any questions about this application specifically? Or any other readings? Yes.
But the only question I have is that we told them to go to public school, and I don't know if they're. That's the only, we told them they have to come to the public school.
Okay, hold on. Dante, what was the communication to El Wasteco in terms of where they need to go?
I can assure you that Mia Hilton told them where they needed to be, and if they weren't there, they weren't there.
Okay, so per the district office, we told them to be here for this evening.
Yes, we automatically send a request to appear immediately. Mia's very good at her job.
All right, and that's to come here. So the only thing we can do is take absence, they're not here for this.
Yeah.
Okay, so are there any other questions with regards to this, any unreadiness? Hearing none, we'll call the question. All those in favor of approving this application for the recommendation of Public Safety Committee, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no.
No.
Okay, that's, Madam Secretary, please call the roll first. Listen.
We have 9 minutes, folks. Thank you.
Right, and that's what I'm saying, so if they're not here, members of the board, if you are okay, okay, let's try this again. All those in favor, please say yes.
In favor
Of the application, approve the application. Please say yes. Here's the thing, and we need to get away from tabling, because we don't get the opportunity to table. It goes through, if we don't get it, it
No,
goes
but
through.
the point of clarity, Fred, when you write in, if you send a letter objecting, you do more harm than tabling. In such a case, if the motion doesn't pass, it could be worse for them. If we table, we're not for, we're not against, we don't give our input, and chances are it's gonna go through. If they're not here and it doesn't pass, we're actually making it worse for them. So I don't know if it's in the interest of the business for you to force us to vote tonight.
Okay, okay, listen, Madam Secretary, please call the roll. Understanding, but we need to continue forward. Madam Secretary, please call the roll. Yes to approve, no is not approved.
Wait, could I?
Yes.
If we've been tabling a bunch of time this year, and now all of a sudden we're gonna stop, let's finish the whole, this session, let's finish June, and then next year we can decide we're not doing tabling anymore, but we can't have done it for certain people and then not do it for them.
Understood. Well,
Because we
okay.
tabled them?
No, and thank you for that point, thank you for that point, but at this point, we'll vote on it, so members will vote there. Go ahead, Bob.
Almenar?
No.
Fred Baptiste?
No.
Against the license.
Rabbi Yaakov Berman?
Abstention.
Anita Bass? Celeste Chase? Suki Shah? Eve Cohen?
Yes.
Bishop Hamilton Gonzalez? Primo Lozano? Maynard Lagote? Francisco Leopold?
No.
Courtney Lazal?
No.
Latrine Mabana? Lati Mushin?
Yes.
Beverly Newsom?
No.
Ethan Narva? Vanessa? Unella Ron Perry?
No.
Felice Robertson? Minnie Rosenberger? Dion Saab?
No.
Debbie Timothy? Twyla Weir?
You see?
Linda Watson Lord, mix up, don't know. Teresa Lester Dahl?
Yes, and I think the applicant is here. She went to the-
Yes.
That's Road Mexican Grill over there, yeah?
Yes.
It's the wrong, it's a different restaurant, different Mexican restaurant here.
John Rolfing?
Okay, order of the day, order of the day. Order of the day. Gotta get this.
The Secretary of Staff.
I know, I said this, I did it also, it's not fit to be with a bunch of other places the whole year. And they do a bunch of other
Another applicant here.
We know who's in the room. We
How am I
know-
supposed to know? We know you're a psychic. We don't know you're a psychic.
I see people, I know people, I've been doing this for a while. We have Union Street Pub in the room also, and we have Delmatron in the room too.
Yes.
So we'll see everybody.
They went to the wrong place. I would wait for them.
Basically, we have to have more guesses.
This is the board. We've got 8 noes, 8 abstentions, 6 yes.
So it fails.
Okay, motion fails, the recommendation is
The
not.
one that didn't show up.
Not-
Everybody else should show up.
Okay, listen, everyone, we need to make sure we stay tight. We are now going to see,
Up next is, Union Street, on there. Right here. Right here. Okay. And then just
Yeah, so Aladdin Village?
Okay, so Aladdin Village was here earlier. I believe that they left. That was if we could keep the volume down a little bit, that would be great. Aladdin Village, application for new liquor, wine, beer, and cider license, that's at 1034 Nostrand Avenue, and Sterling. And those applicants are here. They shared a little bit about their application. They have since left, but I call it.
What was the recommendation of the committee?
The recommendation of the committee was to approve the license, granted, again, conditions, that they began service of alcohol at 3 p.m.
Why?
Well, why?
Why 3 and not 12?
Exactly.
Because of where they're located.
Because of where they're located, yes. This
One's
is,
in the middle of Prospect Park. They're on the corner of Nostrand and Thing.
yeah, so,
So I move to amend the recommendation to support it at 12 o'clock, like the past applicant.
Okay, we have a
the thing
motion.
is, different locations,
All right,
different realities.
We have a motion on the floor to amend.
And if you want to make a comment on liquor licenses, you should come to the public safety.
Okay, listen, hold on. There is a motion on the floor to amend to 12 o'clock.
Second.
Rabbi Berman, seconded by Ms. Newsom. We will now discuss the amendment. Are there any questions, any questions about the amendment? Yes.
So you have this, you have a lot of restaurants with liquor licenses. And I understand that there are in the proximity of the school. Why is it that you have these restaurants with liquor license and you have reefer place over here? Why is it the proximity of a school? Why? This is what I understand. And I have a listing of how many there is. So why aren't we putting parameters of time? Why aren't we?
We did from
What is
10
the
to
problem?
12.
What is the problem?
Okay.
Just one clarification around the 500-foot rule.
One clarification very quickly, but let's make sure it's not debate. Members who have a right to say what you have to say, but then we move on.
This has come up a few times, right? Clarity around the 500-foot rule, the 200-foot rule. Those apply to licenses for bars, restaurants, etc. Liquor stores don't come before the community board, and they do not apply to the 500-foot rule or the 200-foot rule. So it has to do with service of alcohol in the establishment. And that goes to the state, and the state makes that decision on proximity. And so there is a rule, the state is meant to adjourn it, we can make recommendations with regard to that. That is why those things happen. There are no licensed shops for cannabis in this district. Why? There are illegal shops and they are not being policed is a question for the state as well.
All right. Are there any other questions? Let's keep it germane to the amendment to change, to amend it to 12 p.m. Back to the applicant's original request. Are there any other questions or comments? Ms. Westerdahl will see you, Ms. Chong will see you, and then we are going to close and we'll vote on the amendment. Ms. Westerdahl, go ahead.
If I want to make an amendment for something, would I just do it after this vote?
You want to try and amend the amendment? All right. It's-
I want to finish the amendment.
It-
I just want to know, make sure I do the right process.
What is your question? And we'll see what we can work this out. What are you trying to do?
I want to see wine and beer instead of full liquor.
No, we can't do that. That we can't. The application is the application. We can play around the time, but no, you're not gonna change the application.
All right, thank you.
All right.
That clarifies.
All right, Suki.
I really think about the same question as last time, is if you didn't have a this kind of place, instead of you doing drink specials and bottomless brunch and really encouraging people to drink as much as possible in front. I mean, I wish the applicant were still here, so it's a new applicant, but they're not, so, what does the committee say?
All we can do is act on the information we have. This is a new application. There are no complaints at the business with FDNY or NYPD thus far. There was one 311 complaint that took place on the sidewalk outside about loud voices. They don't have a liquor license right now. NYPD told us we have no connection between that complaint and the restaurant.
Yeah.
All right.
No, the liquor license is not.
Yeah, okay, so,
The location, the address has a complaint on 311. Probably goes to my building.
Can we vote?
it's a late, Debbie, is it pressing, urgent?
No, I was just gonna comment on what
Okay.
you said about the.
All right. So we're gonna do this very quickly then. So we are now voting on the amendment. So the amendment is to change the time back to 12 PM per the applicant's.
Not back, from 3 to 12, they wanted 10 originally, so in between.
12?
I think initially they asked for 10:30, the committee recommended 3, and I said, let's be uniform and do it 12.
10:30 was the Friday.
Okay, 10:30 is the Friday. So what about this applicant? What do they request?
The restaurant doesn't exist yet, that's why there's no complaints. You can't have complaints when there's no restaurant.
Aladdin, you're right, Aladdin Village. So, the application does not ask for hours of service. Let's be clear about that too, right? And so all these amendments that we're asking for are just additions to an application which only asks you for your hours of operation. The hours of operation as a business. The hours of operation as listed for this business are 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. We said that we would make a recommendation for approval conditional on the beginning of service of alcohol at 3 p.m. My understanding is that Yaakov is now moving a motion to make that number 12 p.m. rather than 3.
Okay, so it's a conditional, so this is a conditional approval to 12 PM. And again, back to the same thing, they will take it or leave it. It'll go to the state.
We made a motion, let's move on. Let's go.
Yeah,
And I
so,
seconded the
so,
motion.
yeah, so let's vote on this. All those in favor of the amendment, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no.
No.
All right, the ayes have it, the amendment passes. It is now the motion on the floor, so the recommendation is to approve this application as amended, hours from 12 service starting from 12 PM. Are there any questions?
Serving liquor.
Serving
starting
liquor,
at 12
yes.
p.m.
Are there any, is there any more unreadiness on this? Unreadiness, questions?
Oh, unready.
Unreadiness. Hearing none, we are calling the question. All those in favor of the motion to approve as amended, 12 PM service, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please state your name for the record to the Secretary of the County. I ask again, is there anyone who's opposed? Please state your name for the Secretary. Member Robinson in opposition. Anyone else? Everyone, let's say, anyone else in opposition? Hearing none. Anyone who wishes to abstain, please state your name for the record. I'm talking very fast. Anyone who wishes to abstain, please state your name for the record. Hearing no abstentions, the motion carries as amended, and it's approved as amended with the new service. All right. And
So up next, we should go down the list. Up next would be Union Street Pub, who is here now.
What? I'm sorry. What?
Yeah,
Union Street Pub.
So the representative from Union Street Pub is here. Just to set the stage a little bit, this is a new application because it's a new ownership. However, this location,
It's not new. The new owner?
it's a new owner.
Okay.
Yeah. I know, the location's not new. It is a new owner, so the owner has come, and there was some
I think they just changed their, names and something legally.
Okay, they did. The establishment is Union Street Pub. It's well known on the corner of Union and Franklin. It's been around for several years. There was some conversation, I was not at this meeting, but, meeting 3 months ago to discuss some of the noise complaints, high school students hanging out outside. So, y'all, could we please? So, we asked the representative to make some shifts, the owner to make some shifts. The owner is now in the room. I'd love to invite the owner to come up and talk about some of those shifts that they are going to make. And it'll be very fast. If you could do it in a minute or less, that would be incredible.
All right, awesome. Hello, everybody. How you doing? Everybody, my name is Luis Cortez, one of the new owners over at Union Street Pub. There was some I'm good. There were some recommendations made about the hours of, about hours and about the noise complaints that were coming. I have, the steps I've taken so far, and there will be more steps taken. I've dropped the speakers from the ceiling, hanging them on chains. I'm hoping in the next couple of months, if I raise enough funds, I'll be able to drop the ceiling as well, so there's more insulation. in terms of, I think there was mention about what was going on outside in front. Since I took over the place, I've dedicated myself to making sure that nobody who is involved in any, illegal activities are in front of my bar. They're not there anymore. The issue that I do have, and I'm still working on, I have an outdoor shed, and sometimes the high school students will go in there. Okay, so aside from right now, I need to raise funds to get a brand new door because it keeps getting broken in. And it's not the high school kids, it's actually there's a homeless person that comes by a lot and will kick it down. So I'm trying to find a better way to do that right now. But as far as noise complaints, I've definitely tried my best. I've let my employees all know that we have speakers that run along the wall. Those are to be shut down at 10 p.m. and just the speakers above the bar, which are completely held down by chains or held up by chains, are on.
Thank you.
What's the hours of operation?
The recommendation was to close at 12 o'clock on Sunday through Thursday, and at 1 p.m. 1 a.m. I stuck to that. It has severely hurt my business. I'm trying to work around that, trying to work in a happy hour. But if, closing from 2 a.m. to 1 p.m., really, maybe about 50% of my weekend sales are just plummeting. But I also do understand that it is a neighborhood. I've been a part of the neighborhood my whole life. My grandma lived in Ebbets Field for about 46 years. But I am trying my best to work. I have my upstairs neighbors' numbers. I do text them on occasion to make sure that the volume isn't bothering them. And if I get a text, I immediately make either call or I pull up at the bar and make sure that the base is down.
What time you open?
We open between 3 and 4.
It says 5, it says 5 on your application.
We're about to change that.
Are you about to change?
Yeah, and also when I took over the actual bar as a managing owner, our license had already been, our reapplication had already been approved. But I also understand the importance of the community being a part of it, so I did show up. I apologize for missing the last one. I did have a family emergency that I
So this was approved already?
Yeah, it's been approved. I'm just
All right,
here
so
because I'm.
why don't we just move on?
Yes.
Yeah. We're good. You didn't even have to vote, you're saying. All right.
Liquor license has been approved already? Yes.
Got it.
He was here 3 months ago.
It's up in frame.
All right, great, thank you.
It's not good for it.
Well, first of all, we appreciate you coming, right?
Taking out a courtesy, that's very
No.
Okay, so, thank you very much for that. So we do not need to, so we don't need to, we can actually skip that item.
All right, now the Del Patron snacks, would you like to speak? No? Del Patron, yes. So we have one last. This is Del Patron. Okay, y'all, let's stop talking so that we can move our business forward. This is Antojitos Del Patron Mexican Snacks located at 52 Lincoln Road, which is a renewal, and if somebody is coming back, you missed a meeting once, now you're here. Please, just say for like less than 1 minute, a little bit about your business. It's on Lincoln Road, I'm pretty sure we all know it.
Good evening, everyone. I'm sorry I was late. I was at school. And it's the last meeting. This is a renewal. I've been at the neighborhood for the last 15 years. I'm owner of Taqueria El Patron across the street. And that's pretty much it.
Great, we vote.
It was the recommendation of the committee to approve this renewal.
No,
Alright.
one PD incident?
No NYPD, no FDNY.
Okay. So with that, so the recommendation of the committee was to approve. Are there any questions?
No.
None. We're gonna call the question. Is there any objection to approval by common consent?
No.
Well, no, you don't say no. We're rejecting. Anyone who objects
Objects to what?
to approving this application? You would? Common consent.
Aye.
So, okay. All right, so all those in favor, let's do this. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those who wish to oppose. please say nay.
No.
Anyone else who wishes to, object? Okay.
Because it says 10 o'clock in the morning, they open.
Okay, well, okay, so all those who wish to abstain, please state your name for the secretary. Abstentions. Abstentions, all those who wish to abstain. Okay. All right. Well, hearing no abstentions, the motion carries. Thank you.
Everybody won't look at them.
All right, listen, we're gonna be very quick. We just got a couple more things to do.
Couple more.
Hey, well, I have your attention. It's been 4 years, and it would be weird if I disappeared on you next month without saying goodbye. My wife is due in about 2 weeks. Thank you. So I won't see you next month for sure, and I probably won't see you the month.
Oh, wow, I think you gotta change your diaper for me.
I appreciate it. I just want to say thank you for all the participation, all the learning, and really excited about the future of Community Board 9.
Thank you very much, Primo, and you know, before we get all weepy, no, I mean, just thank you so much for your service. You know, it's that he's one of those people who really helped make this board get to where it is right now. That dedication, that service, and when we asked him to, he rose up, and you know, he said, "No problem, I'll serve," and he served in every capacity back. So thank you very much for your service. Listen, best of luck to you and your wife and the upcoming year. Okay? All right, we're going to do this very quickly so we can almost finish. So, next item, we finish all the SLA applications. Item C, Economic Development Committee breakfast. Chair Antopoulos, can you give us 30-second synopsis?
Sure. Okay, we're having a breakfast June 4th for business owners and CB9 so people meet each other, start communicating with each other, and building. That's it, straightforward, 9 to 11 a.m.
Where is it?
Houston Stubble on Nostrand Avenue. June 4th. It's 9 to 11 a.m.
All right, so that is an update that is being made, and this is because being consistent. When committees make, when they want to do the activities, it's fantastic, but we should board things. So as we're doing this, the committee is running this, but the board should be supporting this, and CB9 should be on this a little bit, we should be coming out strong to this. It's a phenomenal effort, and we just thank the chair and the committee for everything they've done for this. So with that being said, I didn't mean to cut off your applause. We're good with applause. But with that being said, so the motion on the floor that was approved by the exec as well is to approve this affair on the date that was mentioned and the location. Are there any questions?
This is a Saturday day. Tuesday.
Okay. Any other questions with regards to the motion on the floor?
Tuesday at 9 a.m. to 11 a.m.?
Economic Development breakfast.
What's the date again?
June 4th.
June 4th. June 4th is the date. Are there any other questions? Hearing none. Is there any objection to approving this by common consent?
No objection.
Okay. All right. Hearing none. Madam Secretary, please note that for the record that it was approved by common consent. Thank you very much. Two more. Yeah, two more items. Empire Boulevard Bike Lane Resolution. All right, Ethan, did you want to discuss it very quickly, or?
Can we vote?
Say what?
So, on the committee, we frequently undertake safety improvements for things regarding, road work, bike lanes, all these things. And living in this district.
Order of the day, order of the day.
Yeah,
continue, go ahead.
Yeah, living in this district for, 20 plus years, as many of you might know, we get pretty overlooked. We might have issues that we see that never get addressed. We've had to beg for speed bumps and for restriping of streets and crosswalks for years, right? We've had to get people to add a stop sign at our crossing where the Attendant Gardens is, an entrance to it. So it's pretty clear that people don't give us the attention we need when it comes to keeping our people safe, right? And right now, there's been a planned greenway along Ocean Avenue to enter Prospect Park's east side, right? It's one of the citywide plans, and for the longest while, there's been a bike lane on Empire Boulevard that does not connect to Prospect Park. And as a matter of fact, many bike lanes around this district don't even come into the district. So bikers are even who are already biking, by the way, are either left at a dead end or have nowhere to go and have to ride alongside traffic. Now, Empire Boulevard is a truck route, so it's one of the worst places to ride your bike because you have to compete with cars, trucks, shipping lines, and it's a nightmare for many people out there. And many of our folks who do ride bikes have this problem. It's dangerous. People have been hit. Empire Boulevard is a street where most of the bikers in this district who have been hit. So it's a hot spot for collisions, a place where you're more likely to die if you get hit by a car because you're on a bike. And there is a bike lane there right now, but it goes technically nowhere. It doesn't link west into the park where most bikers end up going or wanting to go. So this proposal is essentially a statement of support in two places. The first one is to support the proposed Ocean Avenue greenway into the Prospect Park, which is coming, but it's been stalled, of course, like everything else, like our bumps and our crosswalks and our crossings. Huh? Yeah, and we're looking to end that and also support the bike lane to enter Prospect Park because it just makes sense. And a focus of our committee has been closing up those little gaps and gaps that have been evident in this district for years. That's basically it.
So the proposal says,
It says that we support continuing the Empire Boulevard bike lane towards Prospect Park. It will link into Flatbush Avenue and that future Ocean Avenue Greenway. And it also says some parts of it will be protected. The street has the space for it. And it'll be either parking protected or grade separated on Empire Boulevard.
it has a space for, Empire has a space for what?
The bike lane is already there.
But not a protected lane,
It
the
would
bike
be-
lane.
It would be about 1 foot, it would be 1 foot larger.
What if you want the larger?
The bike lane. There's a bike lane from Utica to Bedford on Empire Boulevard. It's already there, and every time we go into a meeting, we walk over
There's a bike lane down Bedford.
on Empire Boulevard between Bedford and Utica. It exists right now. If you go, you'll see it.
The bike lane stops at Bedford Avenue. There's no lane, there's no lane out there.
So you want to continue it to the park?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what he wants.
But you're not talking about making it protected, you just want to continue the bike lane to the
No,
park.
we're adding that as well. That would be if DOT decides the street is wide enough. We're not saying it needs to happen. We're saying that if the street has that capacity and it makes sense, that we wouldn't oppose that. Just putting it behind parked cars so that the trucks, because it's a trucker, would be a little bit less likely to hit and kill somebody on a bike.
Okay.
It's the worst place to bike here. It just, and on top of all of that, one more thing. We know that a lot of people in this district care a lot about parking, so we have caveats in this proposal to save as much parking as possible and remove none if possible. We're letting DOT know that when they do build this, yeah, because we don't want to lose any parking, right? It's possible to not lose parking with this. And you want to make sure DOT knows that we don't think parking is expendable and should just be removed. So we have all that in there, so we save parking. And that bit about removing trees and removing parking, by the way, whoever said that, was very much the opposite of what we're saying in this proposal.
No, I talked about the Ocean Avenue one, sir,
Yeah.
that goes from
Ms.
Empire.
Boyd, we are in public session. We are in public
Yes,
session.
I am finished.
Ms. Boyd, we are in public session.
So don't.
We are in a business session, we are in a
Just making
business
sure,
session.
just making sure.
We're on a
Just making
business
sure.
No.
Ethan, Chair Noble, Chair Noble.
Only bikes, cars being removed, but trees being removed.
Just to set that straight, I'm saying removing parking is not in the proposal. It is the opposite of what we're asking for.
Okay, Chair Noble. All right, questions, okay, hold on, Chair Noble, are you finished with your?
I'm finished.
Okay, we will take questions very quickly. Ms. Westerville, I will see you. Ms. Rapopoulos, I will see you.
Fred, I have to leave, I don't know if you need me for quorum. I'm out of here at 10 o'clock.
hang out for just we're almost done. All right, Ms. Weston, all your questions.
I just
What
wanted,
is it?
wanted clarity to make sure this is from, this is gonna be from Bedford Avenue where that woman was killed on a bike. Where there is no bike lane. The bike lane ends right there over where Firestone is and Bedford Empire. It just ends. That's where somebody was killed. If all you want is for the bike lane to continue from Bedford into the park. And that entrance, I want to say, having raised a child, is where my kid was almost killed because there is the children's area and the children's garden are all, it's a very heavily trafficked area. It's the only entrance into the park for people to go on bikes, the only one from anybody coming from Upper Crown Heights above Empire Boulevard. So I just want to make sure that just that one little area, it's only 3 blocks for a protected bike lane. That's what you're asking for?
Okay.
Can we vote, please?
Hold on, Ms. Simmons, you got a question?
Has there been a study on that already?
Joe.
There has been a study on the Ocean Avenue Green, but not the Empire Boulevard.
I have
section.
So is there, are they gonna do one?
They will, and we have it as well, and when they did the study, they sent us the results and what they found, as well as the decisions they made on those studies.
Okay. 5 to 10.
I'm sorry? I know. Madam Treasurer, we're almost done. Madam Treasurer? Okay, well, actually, I do have one comment I just wanted to make. Okay, hold on. I just want to make one comment. I philosophically agree with the idea. I think we need to create a better bike network, and I think I agree with everything there. I hesitate only because, and I say this to roll up to them, DOT is one of the worst agencies to work with.
Thank you.
And-
Okay, I thought it
and
was.
I'm hesitant about saying, yes, we agree, because we may get exactly what we did because we said. in one of those companies. I think again, it goes back to the point of, let's have the conversation we want to have, map out that section more in terms of what we wanted to have, and exactly what features, because if you say you want to write, throw a protected bike lane, and that may not necessarily work for us. Is
All
it
right,
possible,
let's
can we table this and can we come back with that?
No.
Brad, we are going to vote, because we're ending this
Fair
meeting in
enough,
5
fair enough.
minutes.
All right, no, okay, so listen. All right, was there any other questions, any other unreadiness?
Can I just
Hearing-
clarify what you're saying, that your history,
For
or
example,
your past is that what if we ask for it, we'll probably won't get it.
for example,
That's
you see that
ridiculous.
triangle that happens at the end of
You're
Franklin
not-
Avenue with Washington comes
Please,
down?
let's just
They
vote.
came at us 4 times for that, and we said no. They said it was unsafe. We said, prove it. NYPD didn't have these statistics saying it was unsafe. They closed it anyway, and we said no. That's an example.
So that's part of the reason why I hesitate that, but that is my opinion, my vote.
It's not
And
your
everyone
right,
is
Brad.
entitled
We've been
to
here
it.
more than 5 minutes.
Okay, so, we're gonna get it done. So, the motion is on the floor. At this time, we're gonna vote. All those in favor of adopting the resolution, that has been forwarded by transportation, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed,
No. Beverly.
please put the resolutions in no. Please put on the vote. Anyone else who wishes to vote no? We're almost done. Anybody else who wishes to vote no? Any-
I'm gonna abstain.
Okay, Rabbi Berman is abstaining.
Not that I object, I just haven't done enough information.
Understood. Are you abstaining or? Sure, Ms. Robertson abstaining, okay. All right, so,
She's abstaining.
all right, so with that, I'm sorry, Ms. Thorne is, yes, Ms. Thorne is abstaining. All right, so with that, the motion carries, the resolution is adopted by the board.
Yes.
Last thing, this is the last one, community fair. The budget has been proposed by the district manager. We need to adopt the budget now because this thing potentially, we won't have enough time to vote on it by May.
Aye.
Okay? All right, so the motion's on the floor. Are there any questions? No? Sounds good. All those in favor, please say aye. Anybody who wishes to vote no, please say no. Hearing none. Anyone who wishes to abstain, please say, no to abstain for the record. Okay, hearing none. The motion carries, the budget is adopted. All right, so with that, we've reached the time limit, so we have to conclude. If there are any other agenda items, they will be included as unfinished business for next month. Everyone, I want to thank you. Big agenda this month, we got through it. Everyone, take care. And for all those members, if you are not returning, please stay in touch with us. And at some point, I would like for you to come back so we can say farewell properly to you. And with that, we stand adjourned. Madam Secretary, the time is now 9:59.